Oh, look at him there, setting down and popping a top.
Woo!
Right on time. Well, we want to welcome everybody to tonight's live stream. We are live on YouTube, Facebook. Some live streams will be on YouTube for a short period of time, and then they will get edited and republished as a podcast on my channel. So if you're tuning in live and you don't get to watch it all, it'll be re-put out in a few days on my podcast playlist. We'll trim down any junk and kind of get to the meat and potatoes on the podcast side of things. If you're catching this as a podcast and you'd like to participate in the live audience, then make sure you go to Riding in the Ozarks on YouTube and subscribe. And when you hit that little bell, make sure it says all, so you'll be notified when we do lives as well. Now, I'm your host, Mike. We have Firecracker here and we have Bagger Bader. And we want to welcome everybody tonight. We're going to be talking about some Harley Davidson news tonight and stuff. And we're going to kind of recap some events that we got coming up right away also while we let people get into the stream. And just so everybody knows, this is not safe for work. We cuss, we drink. This is not PG YouTube typical videos that I do. So I try and not do that stuff in my regular videos, but on the live, it's live. And so we're just being us. If that offends anybody, you might want to click off now. If you like it, then stay tuned for more shenanigans. By the way, we can always use a sponsor because we're not going to make any money on this podcast because YouTube's not probably going to monetize it.
I vote for Trojan.
We used to say things like fuck and asshole and motherfucker and all those good things. So, all right. I guess I'll start it off. If anybody does not already know, we have a meet and greet at Spring Fling on Friday night. It's not just me. It's going to be Firecracker, Adam Sandoval, the Badgers. I mean, the list is like up to 15 people, Steve.
Wow.
So that's the flyer for the Cathouse for Spring Fling and some of the events that are going on. So that's this Friday night. But yeah, there's more people that have said they're coming that are not on the list. But we got a pretty big list. Sinister Clutch, Ozark HD Riders, Witchcraft Cycle Works, Bert the Biker Dog, Riding with the Mermaid, JS, Saddle Tramp, Two Wheels Big Life. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'm sure I did include everybody.
Road Rush.
Huh? Road Rush?
Road Rush.
Road Rush Nation. I think Mr. McStash is coming. So yeah, it's quite a list. So it's going to be pretty cool. It should be a great time. We will be at the Cathouse from 7 to 9 for that on Friday night. If anybody else is going to be at Spring Fling, if you can't make it on Friday night, I had a couple of people ask. We are planning going to the Harley dealer on Saturday morning to see Adam kick off his convoy. So we'll be over there. I don't know. Are you doing that, Steve? Are you going over to see Adam kick off?
Well, I think so. Yeah. We all want a shot at winning that brand new motorcycle. So why not?
All right. So, Firecracker, what do you got coming up in just a couple of weeks?
May 6th is the Female International Ride Day. It's a day for all females to get out there and ride and for people to support females. So Switchback Bar has invited me as a special guest, Ray from Witchcraft Cycles, and Riding with the Mermaid, which is with Bert the Biker Dog. So we will be leading the ride. We've got a ride planned out. We're going to actually try to ride this weekend, make sure the roads are good and everything. But it's just going to be a day to come out. It's welcome to men, women, everything, just to support fellow female riders.
Awesome. That's going to be a good time.
We'll have some door prizes and stuff. Not really. We'll have one door prize, but the raffle, and then we're going to have some maybe goodie bags or just hand out some stuff.
Now, that thing Streeby was making, was that for Summerfest or is that for you?
That's for me.
Okay, I need to give him a new date because I didn't know what he was talking about, and he contacted me. So you need to message him. The biker prayer thing is for you. Then you need to let him know what day.
No, not the biker prayer. The Harley sign.
Well, that's what I said. I didn't know what was what. I hadn't messaged about any of it, and then I got a message from him today.
The biker prayer was for the Summerfest.
Okay. Well, I got that part right. Amazing. I got something freaking right.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Now, you guys got an event coming up in your part of the woods, too. We'll run through that real quick, and then we'll get into the meat of this video.
Yeah, we've got the Big Ass Poker Run on May 20th up at Worth Harley Davidson. Being a good friend of mine from Wichita, started this 9 years ago, and he's been a motorcyclist all his life since he had a little mini bike, and like most of us, and his goal is to make this a big event. He'd like to see it be something that the Midwest part of the United States could be proud of, and the turnouts just keep getting better and better. So we're looking forward to this year.
All right. We got a bunch of people in the chat now. We're up to 19. My buddy Nick's here. Ray's Moto's Life here. Ozark HD Riders. The Witchcraft Cycle Works crew's here. Zan Biker, XAN Biker. Middle Tennessee Concrete, Dallas is here. So yeah, a lot of people out here and stuff. And maybe when we get done, if we have a little time, we'll get some other people in here. Let's just get into the art. I did a video about this today. Did you get a chance to watch that, Steve?
I did. Yeah, very informative. I hope everybody realizes the impact that your channel's making with Harley Davidson and their financial news. I mean, you are really the go-to guy for anything financial, and I think you do such a great job. I just want to give you some kudos.
Well, thank you, but I made a video about this, and I referred to the CFO as a bean counter. And for anybody out there that works as a financial analyst or a CFO or anything else, treasurer like that, I don't mean any disrespect. That's just what we always called them when I worked underneath them. I've reported to CFOs. I've reported to CEOs directly. They're two different types of personalities and stuff. But what it boils down to is the female CFO for Harley Davidson, who started in 2020 after Zeitz was named the CEO, has resigned. Now, when I recorded this a few days ago, I didn't really know what the salary circumstances were. I've done a little research on that since then. Firecracker, I know you're not big into the financial stuff, but somebody made a comment and said that the CFO's just another bean counter, they'll be easy to replace, and that may be true. I don't think that's necessarily untrue, but I kind of thought, my experience has been the CFO sees things that a lot of people don't see, and they make a lot of projections and things like that, and most of these big executives get a stock option that is part of their salary. So she must be seeing something that did not make her feel like staying in with Harley Davidson was a better option than switching to Hasbro, which is where she went. I don't know, what she may or may not know. I did do some research, and her compensation package was originally amounting $2 million, and she had some stock options, and they're based on hitting a financial mark. And that's actually all publicly available, like in an SEC filing for the CEO. I assume the CFO's, expectations are for the bonuses are the same as the CEO. It's got to hit this level. So, this is, some people think it's not that. I had one guy say that's not news. Well, I think it's news. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a telltale sign of things going on at Harley Davidson?
I think anytime you lose a top executive, you need to be concerned about it. And yes, she's a bean counter, and hopefully she can be replaced with someone just as knowledgeable. But she's in charge of profit and loss, and that dwindles down to parts, types of motorcycles that they might want to look into getting into in the future. We talk about the Bronx, how that hasn't come around. We thought it would be here by now. But those are all things that the bean counters are, that's part of their position, is to know what kind of, what direction they can go financially. And so hopefully she left on her own terms because she got a better deal, and it wasn't, a negative reaction to the direction that the company's going in.
Yeah. It's Witchcraft has got to sign off. They've got to get ready for Spring Fling. Literally, we're all leaving tomorrow night after work. So we're actually meeting them up in Branson tomorrow night so we can get ahead of the rain. So you guys take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Good friends of ours. But yeah, Firecracker, do you have much thought on this? I mean, I know you're probably not that interested in the financial aspect, just me and Steve, but you do have a voice, and as a lady, does this? Do you want to see more female? You think it's a big deal if a female executive at a big company like Harley Davidson leaves? Does it matter if it's a woman or not a woman?
I don't think it matters, but I think it's good to have the way things are going with all the women getting more into the motorcycle world, that it's not a bad idea to have women in there to give their ideas, or, point them in a direction that may be more towards, helping. Because I feel that there's a lot of women out there that would like to, but they feel like maybe the bikes aren't the size they need or what they need, and maybe females can give perspective into that scenario of what could be help with making things geared towards women more.
So females, even though she's not a female rider, she may have been a voice for female riders at the executive level,
Right.
that may be lost.
Hold on, I got this all figured out.
Okay.
Hire Firecrackers, the new CFO. Take a little pay cut, 1.7 million. You can live with it.
Okay? Oh, definitely.
And then, you just get all the new motorcycles you want.
Yeah.
So is that a guess, or did you do some research, Steve, on the pay rate? Because you're not far off.
Hey, I think she'd make a great CFO.
So the CFO, I read some of the information on the deal she got with Hasbro, and it's about a $2 million a year base salary with up to like a 300% profit based on performance of the company and stuff. And I didn't know what her deal was with Harley Davidson at the time, but I've done some information, and it I think was originally she was in at 1.8 in 2021, something like that, and maybe doubled that in 2022 with the stock options.
Wow.
But but that's stock options, and that's where it gets funny. From the way I read it, is it's based on if the stock is at this level in a certain period of time. So like it has to be at this level in 5 years. If it's not that level, then they don't get the money.
So it's incentive based.
It's incentive based. And there's actually in their proxy, I went out and looked this up because somebody turned me on to it. They said that they were looking at giving in their proxy stuff for shareholders, giving Zeitz a raise. So I went and did some digging. So I know what Zeitz's base pay was with the SEC filing when he started. I know what they're looking at doing. This was kind of the third story there, but we'll
Let me guess, it's over 2 million.
It is. So this article came out, and it was hidden behind a paywall, but I managed to steal parts of it or get parts of it without paying. You just got to be quick on the screen grab when you refresh the page before the paywall comes up. But let me see if I can take this overlay off so that you guys can all read this. So Harley Davidson chairman, CEO Jochen Zeitz more than doubled his reported compensation to $43.3 million in 2022. But $32 million of that is the accounting value for stock awards that depend on the company achieving a share price threshold in future years. So what his original salary had like a threshold base, and it was based on like a bonus, even if the stock price was at $50 a share in 5 years, something like that. I don't know all the details, and I really would have to sit down and spend hours to decipher their legal jargon talk and try and put it into a calculator and a spreadsheet and figure it out. But here's the simple matter. He doubled his compensation to $43 million in 2022. So that means his compensation in 2021 was what, $21.5 million?
Somewhere in there.
And that means if $32 million was stock, then that means $9 or $11 million was not stock in 2022. Now, his initial base salary when he started was like $5 million. So he was supposed to be making $5 million, and he's already up to making $11 million. And if you think I'm kidding, check this out. So I trimmed this trying to get it a little bit bigger where you could read it. But it's kind of hard, but number one here is Seitz. Number two is Matt Levitich, who left in 2020. So Matt Levitich's numbers are over here, and he actually paid them money, probably because he'd been paid stocks and then they let him go and there was a retraction or whatever else. But anyway, so this other number over here is Zeiss. So it says summary compensation total is based on, including the stock stuff, but we went 9 million to 18 million to 43 million. Now that is 4 times what he started out at. And Harley Davidson didn't make 4 times as much money. They didn't sell 4 times as many bikes. Stock prices is not 4 times as high. So how in the world does the board justify that kind of incentive based on performance?
Well, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've discussed this before. He was on the board and has been on the board of Harley Davidson for a while. And he was basically handpicked to take over based on his credentials. So I've got to think, like you just said, the board's got to approve all that stuff. So hopefully they're adding up their dollars right, and they realize that, hey, we got to get this guy up to kind of the average to compete with everybody else out there to hold on to this guy, because I think he is doing a good job. I like a lot of the things he's done since he's taken over.
I think he's kept the company together during COVID and things like that. But
but that's how much he's making.
That's what he's making with the stock incentives if the company reaches the expected levels. He may not actually end up making that much in the end. They may take some of that back, but he's making part of that in cash. So in cash, compensation actually paid, but then there's I don't know if it's somewhere in one of these, they actually had like the cash compensation not included. So like here, you see this equity deductions. So 38 million of it was like in stock. 12 million was in stock. 5 million was in stock. So he didn't get cash there. He got stock. And if that stock becomes worth 0, then he's got nothing. But if it is worth $50 a share, then he's got more. And that's where it's hard to adjust for, to know what really he's got.
I've been in sales most of my life. And so although I just can't even fathom somebody making that kind of money, at least there's incentives. If they were just handing it to him on a silver platter, I'd be pissed. But, if that's his ceiling, if he hits all his numbers and he can get there and makes Harley Davidson a stronger company, and he's in line with the other CEOs because they're all making way too much.
Yeah.
But is he actually the one that's getting them there, or is it the other people doing all the work and he's just sitting behind a desk? I mean, he wouldn't be selling that much if it wasn't for the individual dealerships and all that. And sorry, but that's just a ridiculous amount of money for somebody to be making. I mean, to make $2 million a year is outrageous to me. I mean, I don't even make anywhere near that. So to pay somebody that much money, it's just freaking ridiculous when they're probably not the ones that's doing all the work to get it there or coming up with the ideas. I mean,
that's what being on the board for 15 years does. I don't have it where I can share it, but this is like where I got this pay information is actually from a document that's publicly available on the investor website. It's about their proxy information. It shows information about their board members, how long they've been board members, how much they're compensated as board members, all this stuff. That's one thing about it, as a publicly traded company. If you can dig far enough and look for stuff, there's a lot of stuff that's available, and I get that's too much money, and that's easy to say for all of us that don't make it. But if other CEOs are getting $8 and $10 million, they have to be competitive or they'll lose him to someone else. And that's where the thing comes from. But the other side of the coin, and this is where I struggle with this whole debate, is, it's just like Congress. They get to vote on their own pay raise. The board and him, he's part of the board, the board gets to vote on his pay raise, and and they get to vote on the board's pay raise. They get to choose their own salary, just like Congress does. And I think that is, an integrally flawed system. I also think this performance based on stocks as the biggest incentive is terrible for companies. They're rewarded for bringing the stock price up under no matter what conditions. There needs to be incentives along other key performance indicators like, increasing sales, increasing customer satisfaction, reducing overhead or reducing returns, warranties, those kinds of things. That's the kind of thing that also needs to be just as important for that company to be strong 5 years down the road, not just what headlines can I get in the news to bump the stocks so that I get paid more. And that's unfortunately some of the game we see played.
Well, yeah, what pisses all of us off that's ever been in corporate America, and most people have been there once or twice in their life. I know I spent about 17, 18 years in it. Is from the board down, it's all about profitability. They want to make as much money as they can, so they make your life fucking miserable and cut you down to the bone, and they only take care of you enough to keep you in your chair, right? And because they've made life so shitty for you, they give the CEO a big ass raise. So it's just so backwards assed. I don't mind the CEO making a big profit. He's got a big title, right? Supposedly, hopefully he's worked his way up there and deserves this position. But corporate America has got to start. They've got to start looking out for the littler guys. Give them a little bit of fruit off the tree, for Christ's sakes.
And that's just it. But I mean, like, boards have an obligation to the company, not just to the stockholders. I mean, you have an obligation to the employees. I just feel like it's too much incentive is based on stock performance and not company performance. There needs to be other indicators that are part of that performance bonus metric. But,
right,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, instead of giving him a big raise, they should be giving that to the people that are building the bikes, so they don't have the screw up like in your one video with the
brakes.
The brakes, right? But not only that, but you hear people all the time, this dealership, they did this wrong or that wrong. Well, maybe if they weren't charging the dealerships so much money, the dealerships could actually pay their mechanics and everybody else in there more money to maybe they would take more time and, more care with people because they're getting paid better. I mean, because they probably don't make shit. And then you got somebody up there that's making that much money when they could divide that up between the mechanics and the, people that are building the bikes and the people that are out there selling them and everything else.
Steve, you may not have seen the article this week. We got wind of it last night, but you know who Mid-America Harley Davidson is, right?
That's in that Columbia?
Yes, that's the dealer in Columbia, Missouri, here, and they were just changed ownership. They are now part of a 7-dealer, network or whatever. So it's again back to that conglomeration thing. So now, a bunch of the dealerships have been bought out by car dealerships. They've been trying to weed out the small family-owned dealerships. It really seems like, I just feel like that, at dealerships, you got to remember, independently owned. They're not owned by Harley Davidson. So they're paying a price for that bike, and then they've got to put profit on top of that so that they can have that dealership. Now, Harley Davidson, in all fairness, puts on events. They sponsor things like Sturgis. They donated leather jackets to our benefit for a child with cancer. They do do things from the corporate level for individuals or for rallies and things like that. But dealerships also put on events and things like that. And that's coming out of the dealer pocket. And maybe they can get some reimbursement for Harley on certain things, but they go out and they get sponsors to try and help them put on events, and they sell vendor spacing and, all those things so they can put on rallies like Bike Fest and, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And there's a ton of overhead that goes along with that. So dealerships, have to make money to be able to do a lot of those things that we all enjoy going and participating in. So, I hear that, he has cut the margins for dealers. I mean, things like that. It's hard to say, how much or how, but, somebody asked, Black about the dealership thing, Blacktop, something about Blacktop. So yeah, I want to say it was a family that owns 7, and they're, do you remember the name of it? We got the message on it last night, honey.
I'm looking it up.
But I can find the article on it. It was published and made public information. It's now going to be rebranded Blacktop Harley Davidson. I know that. And they had another dealership in Missouri, which I'm not sure who that is, because it's definitely not Lake of the Ozarks, because I know who owns that. It's not them.
Here
Here it is. So is acquired by an out-of-state company, U.S. Momentum Holdings, which is an Alabama-based company. And it'll be rebranded as Blacktop Harley Davidson. It joined the family of 7 other dealerships, including their Marine sister dealerships with locations in Missouri, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. And they're closing the Barnhouse store in Jeff City that they just opened 2 or 3 years ago.
Really?
Which wasn't a motorcycle dealership, but a T-shirt and service thing.
Yeah, didn't you do a video from there once?
I did. So I don't know how fast they're closing it, but if anybody's looking for Harley shirts on sale, Barnhouse Harley Davidson might have some.
Okay, so here's what this is telling me, that in my hometown of Hays, Kansas, our dealership also met the fate of this new realignment. But it sounds like to me that mom and pop just can't, they cut things down at the point where mom and pop just can't make a profit with these dealerships anymore. So these large corporations are buying them up because all they need is a little bit of profit, right? Because they've got all these other revenue streams. And then if you're big enough, maybe you want it to lose money because they're looking for tax write-offs too.
Well, Big St. Charles Harley Davidson in St. Louis, Missouri, I know he owns Big St. Charles Power Sports, which is connected to the same building. He sells metric brands out of there. He has an Indian dealership and a Harley dealership all on one piece of property. Or that mean legally they may be multiple pieces of property, but it's one big ass parking lot with multiple buildings. So you pull in the parking lot, and you can buy, Kawasaki, Indian, Harley. He doesn't care. He's selling it all. And from what I understand, this is like a, kind of, I won't say a hobby, but it's not his main focus. It's not his bread and butter. His bread and butter is car lot, so he owns car lots. So, and these automotive industry car lots are getting into, been buying up Harley dealers everywhere. 9 Mills, 2 Wheels made a comment about that, but Sturgis, Rapid City sold out to a car lot. Ross Myers, Florida, sold out to a car company. The Honda dealer in St. Roberts, Missouri was just rebranded Ed Morris Power Sports because Ed Morris bought the Chevy dealer here where I live in the last couple of years. And now they bought the Honda dealer. These guys are wherever they're making their money at, they're making their money and they're buying up dealerships. And the mom and pop shops are going to go. And Harley Davidson used to say that their dealerships were not like going into Walmart or going into a car dealership. They wanted it to be a premium experience. They didn't want you to have that, bait and switch kind of thing that you get at the car lot. They advertise one motor car, at this deal, and you go in there on a Saturday. Oh, yeah, we just sold the last one of those, but we can put you in one of these others if you can make the payment. What can you afford a month? Let's not talk price of the car, but let's talk what you can afford a month. They'll run your credit through every bank they can, and they'll quote you the highest interest rate they can get and still keep you under that, monthly payment so they can hook you, and then they get an incentive, a kickback from the bank. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen at Harley dealers.
Hey, Mike, we're getting a little feedback somewhere like we did last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it's me or...
It shouldn't be me, but I can mute somebody. We can test it real quick.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Firecracker is now muted. Are we still getting the feedback?
I don't hear it now.
Okay.
And it wasn't there up until just a minute ago. I don't know if anybody else. How about anybody out there here?
Oh, shit, might have been her. You might pull the mic a little closer to you and turn the speakers down just a hair if you can, honey, and see.
No, mine was spinning like it was going out.
We're gonna have to get you wired up and off the Wi-Fi.
Can anybody out there tell us if they're hearing a little reverb in the background?
Yeah, let us know if we're still doing good. I've been trying to get this dialed in for the audio and the lighting. We've been working hard on it. We want to really bring you guys a good show. That we got 37 people tuned in right now. So
that's 37 smart son of a bitches right there.
Well, hey, everybody in our audience is smart sons of bitches. All 12,000 of them.
Damn right.
Did you see that today? Did you see that?
No, but
12,000 souls have hit subscribe today.
Nice.
So thank you guys all for subscribing to the channel. We broke 12,000 subscribers today, and we've done like 20,000 views today because this has been a very hot topic today since I released that video.
Oh, getting back to the, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm worth a shitload of money and I'm making my living off cars, used car lots and stuff, and I got an opportunity to buy a Harley dealership, I'm all over that thing. I mean, that's a lot sexier than, selling a Buick.
I used to always think that if I won the lottery, I would try and open a dealership, but I always figured I wouldn't be able to open one where I live because there was one 45 minutes down the road and the next one was 90 miles away. And the one that's 45 minutes down the road was kind of at the halfway point between St. Louis and Springfield. But Harley, for business reasons or whatever, and the owner decided to close that one. And, I'm sure I'm 80, 90 miles from Lake of the Ozarks, but Jack's got nothing to worry about because I don't see me winning the lottery anytime soon.
Well, but let's be honest, cocaine and hookers. I mean, that's, if you win the lottery, that's right. I mean, that's where we're going.
Well, they'll be in the storeroom filling orders. But
Firecracker can pick them out for you. That's
I always kind of thought that like if I won the lottery, owning a dealership would be cool. I mean, it's like, what would you want to do if you were rich? Sell cool motorcycles and I
travel the world.
I still think Harley Davidson makes great motorcycles. I love the product. The problem is the company, the margins, the things I see the company does. I mentioned it in the video today. A lot of people are upset about Green Day being at the 120th anniversary.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of that going on right now. I mean, do you drink Bud Light anymore?
I rarely drank Bud Light before, but let's put it this way. There's no Bud Light in this cup, but there might be some Jim Beam. And Jim Beam, if you're tuned in, please don't do anything woke. Just make alcohol and stay out of the political and social arenas. That's what customers want, is they don't want you to take a side. They want you to stay out of it. See, Jack's in the side chat. Jack is the owner of Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson, by the way. He's a great guy. I mean, they've really been good to me on the channel. They let me come up and ride the Pan America. I'm going to be at their actual event here in a couple of weeks. They have an event coming up. We'll mention that real quick while we got Jack's name up on the screen. So if you guys didn't know, the Ozark Rides Rally is it the 13th? I'm there. I think it's the 13th.
Yes.
So May 13th, 1:45 p.m. You can go for a ride led by this guy named Mike from the Riding in the Ozarks channel. And we're going to take off from right here. We're going to ride around the lake and go up to Stover, Missouri and come back and ride back into the dealership. I don't know why, but I get people who say things like, "Oh, I want to ride with you," and so here's your opportunity. If you can make it to the Ozarks Rides Rally May 13th, you can do a ride with me. What's more important than doing a ride with me is they're going to give away some cool shit. You know what they're going to give away?
Cool shit.
Two Sportsters, not one,
Oh.
two. So, honey, if we win, we can have him and her Sportsters.
Yeah.
And then we can see who can build the coolest Sportster chopper, me or you.
That'd
We'll
be
have a
cool.
chopper build off on the channel.
I love
Hey,
it.
I'm just throwing it out there. If anybody doesn't want to go on the ride with Mike, they can stay back and hang out with me, the cooler person.
She's definitely the better looking one. And like Nick said, I mean, this right here, it's kind of the truth here, but I've rode with him. Nothing special.
But you know, the Harley Davidson dealership at the Lake of the Ozarks, that's a great dealership. I love going in there when I'm down there. They've done a great job in their merchandise center. They always got really cool apparel and helmets and different things that you can purchase. So they just do a great job.
Ray says riding in the car is better, guys. If you get a chance to ride with them in the car, and when he says them, he means Bagger Bates. This guy right here, that's the guy. You want to ride in the car with him for a small fee. Let me fix that here. We can get this guy to take you around St. Louis and hit you every pothole and speed bump there is in
Making U-turn.
In a hoopty-mobile. He'll even race people off the stoplight where there's no lane and cut them off for you. But you got to tip him for that.
Yeah, I had firecracker in the car for what, 2 minutes, a minute or whatever. How many logs did I break?
Quite a few, I think.
Good thing you're
He
an
passed up
insurance.
the thing, and I'm like, aren't we turning there? And then all of a sudden he goes, whoop, and he just turns around in the middle of St. Louis. I was like, oh, crap.
That's the beauty of a 4-lane road. I mean, it gives you plenty of room to make a radius turn. I mean, it worked out.
So Zen says, do you think companies are getting sold off? Dealerships or companies? I'm not sure what he means there. What do you think he means, Steve?
I'm not sure. I think we both have said this in the past. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, we all hate to see the family-owned dealerships suffering, having a tough time. It just sucks. I think especially for a smaller town where I grew up, there's a little sense of pride being able to say, hey, we've got a Harley dealership.
Lake of the Ozarks, Harley Davidson. I'm going to throw this out there again because I've said it before and I've done a video on it, but it's worth talking about that. They are an MSRP dealer. Now, he may not give you an overinflated price for a trade-in, but that's because he's not jacking the bike up by $2,000 over sticker to begin with. These guys that are jacking the price up over MSRP can give you more for trade-in because they're, slapping it on there. And all that does is increase the statistics for what a bike sells for. That's all you're doing, just like raising minimum wage. So, get a fair price for your trade-in and get a fair price for your new bike. Jack sells bikes at MSRP. It doesn't matter if it's in CVO and Arctic Blast. He's been that way. And as far as I know, nothing's changed. And I've told people who say, I can't get a bike that, they're $8,000 over MSRP. And I'm like, for $8,000, I can get on a plane and fly to Missouri from about anywhere, buy the damn bike and ride it home and be well money ahead.
Or you could have it shipped for probably $1,000, $1,200 just about anywhere in the United States.
I'm going to tell y'all what, you guys buy a bike from Jack and you need somebody to ride it to you. You let me know. I'll ride the damn thing to you and then you can just fly me back.
Absolutely.
Shit, if it's a CVO, I might even take a Greyhound bus.
Put me in the 2 position. If you're already out on the road, I'll be the second guy to ride somebody's new bike to them.
The problem's going to be if Firecracker raises her hand, she's going to get all the business.
That's true.
Because they're all going to be like, we'll get that bitch to my house somehow.
Yeah, I think she's going to win out of the 3 of us.
For sure. So Justin asked a question. What's the confidence level of these spy shots for next gen Harley are legit? If strong, what price point are we looking at? These dealers are going to stick it to us. Well, Justin, I just said something about the dealer thing, and I think some of them will, but I think there are some MSRP dealers. I had somebody in a comment today. They picked up a Slim for less than $10,000. It was less than 6 years old. That's a fair price from a dealer. There are some deals out there. What do I think the confidence level is of those spy shots? I have a lot of people who comment on the channel. I have some people who message me things that I cannot say publicly. I am pretty confident that those are real motorcycles, whether they're 2023s, 2024s, when they'll come out, that kind of thing. I can't see. I had somebody make a comment that, it was a big mistake to not launch more CVOs at the launch. Why wait till June or July for the 120th anniversary celebration? I heard that wasn't the intention, that for some reason they weren't ready. So whether it's supply chain issues or whatever else, production issues, they weren't ready in January. So this was step back and punt, and June, July, whatever is the target.
Do you have any knowledge on whether those two guys got fired? I keep hearing they got fired.
I don't know, but somebody who's staying at the house with us at Spring Fling did a video saying they were fired. I don't know what their source is. I may know more by the next time we talk, if how reliable their source is. And there are certain things that are told to me that I can't say online or I can't share, because sometimes that's how you get a source, is you gotta restrain and not tell you everything you know.
Yeah. If you start blabbing your mouth, they're not going to keep visiting with you.
Right. But I can say I believe that those are real bikes, real images. I think they're skewed. I think, if you take a picture with a super wide angle lens and you're real close to a certain part of something, it skews it really bad. And I think that's what somebody did, was they were trying to get the whole bike in the shot, but they were trying to be close to it and not be obvious. And they used some kind of crappy wide angle camera thing. And, but I think I'm pretty confident they're real. Now, what do I expect? I would say $3,000-$4,000 price increase for the new motor, variable valve timing, integrated lights. I think they're going to be not a $300 price increase, but a $3,000 price increase. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, there's no doubt that they're going to have to bump up the price. It looks like they've they put LED lights and those integrated turn signals in the fairings, and hopefully there's all kinds of other unique. I know that the monitors, the screens are much bigger. So anytime you're dealing with any of that stuff, you're going to see prices go up.
Nick says they're not the 23s. They're already posted on HD. Look the same as current models. These Nick, if you're obviously not watching all my videos, and I'm sadly disappointed you don't ever ask to borrow my windshield again. But these are supposed to be the 23 CVOs that have not been launched yet, because they've only launched one 23 CVO, and that was the Road Glide Limited. So that's what these other leaked bikes are supposed to be, 23 CVOs. Now we'll see. I've heard, that since the leaked photos, that contractors are required to have stickers over their camera phones, and, security is heightened around any like pre-production or, whatever top secret shit they're working on. So I had a comment saying that, security has gotten tight. Did Ray say he had to leave? Yeah, Ray said,
Yes.
I got to pay attention to my daughter's softball game. Sorry, Ray. Thanks, man, for tuning in, though.
Yep. See you, Ray. Well, I would love to be a fly on the wall in a big corporate meeting, because there's two ways to look at this thing. Yeah, I know that if I was looking to buy a new Road Glide or Street Glide, and I thought maybe these were going to come out this year, I would probably hold off on buying. So it could hurt sales, but my goodness, the word around, it's getting a lot of attention. A lot of people are talking about this. So they're getting a lot of good press from it. So it's be interesting to see what it is.
So let's talk about the 420 a little bit. So have you guys, if anybody hasn't seen the video from today, I showed some shots of the 420. I'm going to throw them up here on the screen with a little background noise, little music. We'll see how it looks. But these are spy shots that were sent into a publication of a 420 motorcycle that is spotted in India that we believe is being built by Hero Motorcycle in conjunction with Harley Davidson. Let's take a look.
Now, is this a bike, Mike, that's just going to strictly stay in Europe and Asia? Do they plan to bring this thing over to the States?
Suspicion is no. Yeah, the CVO Road Glide, Nick, is the only thing posted on the HD site. The leaked bikes we are talking about are street glides and road glides, and not the limited. And you can, I will send you a personal message with the link for a video for you to go watch and support your buddy. But because he's a dick and I'm a dick, but I still love him. So
Two dicks.
Yeah, two dicks. No sword fighting. No sword fighting. I'm just telling you now. It's out of the question. He's bigger than me.
No homo?
I don't know about his dick, but he's a bigger boy than me. So I don't want to lose. But the HD4xx or 420 or whatever it is, we don't know a whole lot about that yet. I mean, there's no way of knowing for sure where it's going to be released at. But me and other articles I've read from publications from people who follow the industry don't think that it's likely to come to the U.S. And if you go back and you think about the Street 500 and the Street 750, they were made in the U.S. and they didn't do well. So the only way this bike is going to do well in the U.S. is if it's cheap. And do you think Harley's got any interest in selling a cheap bike in the U.S.?
No. I know over in other parts of the world, specifically because of the the land that they're dealing with and the number of people that live in that area. Little small motorcycles are a great way to get around. I just think that if they're looking, the only person that's going to be interested in the United States for a smaller bike, I think, would be a young rider that's just getting started. High school, college age, 18 to 24.
Right, but can those guys afford the dealership cost for service? Can they afford the $50 T-shirt? Can they go to the 120th anniversary and afford $500 to see Green Day?
Yeah, but I think that kid's going to want a sport bike. He's going to want something that looks like a sport bike, and I just don't see that type of bike getting any traction in the U.S.
So Middle Tennessee Concrete's Dallas. And if you didn't know, Dallas bought a Honda, and it's caused some recent turmoil. I heard that Monkey almost had to be checked into a stress center. He was so upset about this. I saw him on a live stream, and he continued to talk about this Dallas in a way that was unhealthy. I thought Miss Monkey was going to have to pacify him with alcohol and, some soothing, because he seemed very, very distressed by the fact that you bought a Honda.
The only Honda that I've ever liked was back when I was in a young man, back in like the early 80s, and I was looking at a Playboy, and there was a naked girl on a motorcycle, and she was acting like she was revving it, and then off to the side, like where the exhaust would be, it said Rhonda.
Yeah, Nick says he's lost a lot of weight, and I think he's down to an extra large. So we'll have to see where he's at. He had surgery. Congratulations to him. He's been doing good. For any of you guys out there trying to lose weight and stuff, it's something I struggle with. If you're winning that battle, keep doing it. Keep being an inspiration to others. Keep posting your weight loss, sharing that. You're doing good, Nick. You're still a dick, but you're doing good. This is a guy that, we're good enough friends. He went to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue with us, and I let him borrow my Clockworks windshield because he's riding with one of them shitty-ass Harley flared piece of crap. And I think he didn't want to stop for 200 miles because he's afraid I was going to take it back. It's like, I forgot. If you've got a Clockworks and you have any doubt, just trade somebody for a Harley windshield and ride for 4 hours, and then you'll go back and remember how much you appreciate that Clockwork, because that thing is a pile of crap.
Yeah.
Literally.
When I bought my 2017 Road Glide, I literally, when I knew we were going to make the deal happen, the night before I went in to go get it, I ordered a Clockworks windshield. It was the absolute first thing I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, you tell me, Steve. Now, one of the things about this 420 that I showed the video on here, we'll pull this thing up and pause it, is this bike, from what I understand, is based on a Benelli TNT 300. And it's, they've upped it to it like a 350cc or 400, or I'm sorry, the Hero, the 420 is not based on the 300 Benelli. That's an Indian-based motorcycle. And this one we don't know enough yet, but this one might be made from scratch on Harley's design. And let's hope so. The X350 Riding Academy bike that I talked about, that's the one that's based on the Benelli 350. And it is like $4,000 for the Benelli, and then $5,000 for the Harley for something that's based off the Benelli. And I think that's where that's the problem with these Chinese or Indian made bikes, is how do you sell that when it's made by the same company that makes the Benelli, and it's basically a slightly modified, upgraded Benelli.
Well, I use the analogy of a polo shirt. You buy a polo shirt and you pay $20 for it, but then you go get one with a little horsey and a guy hitting a ball on it, and it's $80. So I think there's always going to be someone that wants to buy the $80 shirt and somebody that wants to buy the $20 shirt. So it's all going to come down to, whoever the smart guy was that thought, here's how many bikes we can sell at this price point. He better be right.
So Nick, remember, if you buy that Clockworks windshield, you have to order it from my Amazon link, so I get the affiliate marketing, because you owe me that at least for putting up with your windshield all day. And you can, if you need bars, I can send you a link for those too. I like the bars I've got, but I'm really actually very interested in the bars that Clockworks makes. They make some handlebars where you can rotate the outer grip in, and they're, even for the Street Glide, they're made in kind of like parts. And I think that would be cool, and it'd be a hell of a lot easier to fish cables through than that piece of meat hook that I just did for her bike.
I think Brian from Black Top Devil has those bars.
Yeah, from Clockworks. They look good.
They do.
But I mean, I think if the Street 500 and Street 750 didn't make it in the U.S., made here in the U.S., the only way these like one lungers, which is what it appears to be, is going to make a dent in the U.S. market and have sales is if it's cheap. If it's made overseas, it's going to have to compete with metric bikes. That's all there is to it. Buyers might pay more for a bike made in the USA, but if it's made in India or China, they are not going to pay more than they are for a bike made by a metric company that's made in Taiwan, India, China, or Japan. And so they're going to have to then compete on price, and that's what they don't want to do. They don't want to compete on price.
And that's kind of my point. The majority they're going to save their money and buy the same bike at a lower cost. You're going to have that select few that's willing to pay the extra, so they have the Harley emblem on the bike. Is the way I see that.
I had somebody comment today about we should all be paying attention to Buell Super Cruiser, but that's got a whole set of problems with it. They've never produced any real production bikes under the new owner. It's all no dealership. No support for shops that know how to work on them. The guy that invented the engine is no longer associated with the company. The technology is 8-year-old technology from when they bought it from liquidation. The CEO is a company liquidator who decided not to liquidate all this and to actually try and rebuild the brand. And they are taking non-refundable deposits that have no guarantee this bike will ever be built. So all those things or something you need to think about. The Buell Super Cruiser sounds awesome. I think they did great getting Roland Sands involved. I want to see it come out, but they got some work in front of them they still got to do. You can't just build a prototype and put it on Instagram and think I'm going to, sell motorcycles.
Yeah, they need to watch a biography on the DeLorean. Yes, I think that might be where they're headed.
Harley needs to find a way to make prices lower if they can. And I think that's what this Chinese and Indian thing is about. But I think it's going to be a lot more acceptable overseas, in Brazil, other markets, than it is going to be here in the U.S. And that's why I don't think we'll see the 350 or the 500 or the 420, particularly in this market. I think it'll be Brazil, India, maybe even Europe. KTM and Triumph are having BMWs, having small displacement bikes built in India and China and places like that. And somebody made a comment about, well, they're doing it. So, and it's not a problem. But I think they're doing it in the essence of they're having those companies build those bikes to their specs. They're not like this Benelli thing, taking some other base bike and then just modifying it and rebranding it. So,
do you know much about Benelli, Mike? Do you know? I mean, where are they in the middle of the pack as far as manufacturers? Or
I don't know a lot about Benelli. I do know there's a dealer here in Missouri. I did look it up. I think maybe even the Indian dealer that sells Royal Enfield might sell Benelli too in Columbia. Okay. But so our friend Dave Bingham said, "Hi guys, hi Dave, thanks for tuning in."
Dave.
So, I don't know how Harley makes prices cheaper. People have said that besides cutting executive management salaries, because people have said that, they've already cut out employees and gone to automated manufacturing, that they've done this, they've done that. Their union wages for manufacturing, as I understand it, and at the York plant and things like that. They try and use U.S. suppliers where they can. I know people don't believe that. They think everything's made in China, but they do try and use U.S. suppliers. And that's one reason they didn't have as many problems during COVID as some of the other manufacturers did. But, they still had some, no matter what. Imagine trying to source everything in the U.S. I mean,
I wish we could.
I'd like to see us get back to that. Firecracker, do you have a solution?
Nope.
Well, we've already made her CFO of Harley Davidson. Next,
I say get rid of all the. Get rid of all the money hungry, greedy people, and get you some people in there that want to start at a low rate.
Yeah.
Get some people in there that are there because they want to save the brand. They don't. They
want to save the brand, and they like their job. Obviously, the people making all that money don't really care about their job. They're just going to the next best thing they can make the money at. That's the way I see it.
Well, and that may be the case with the CFO, or it may be the case she saw that stock options at Hasbro were a lot better. I mean, financial people are financially geared. That's why they're in that industry. It's just part of that.
And they're probably I'm going to just say this flat out. They're probably some of your laziest people in the world. Everybody else is doing their job, and they're taking credit for it. That's the way I see it. Because they're not the ones sitting there coming up with the designs for the new bikes. They're not the ones. They're getting these designs brought to them from other people, and then they are taking the credit, and they're being greedy on all this money. That's the way I see it.
Well, the top pats the top on the back. They scratch each other's back. Board of directors are making $250,000 to be on the board of directors.
And that's what's wrong with this world.
Yeah. Some of the people on the board of directors have been there 28 years. There's a lady on there who's 70 years old who's been there for 28 years.
I'd love to know her story. I bet she's never even ridden on a fucking motorcycle.
There's a guy from Ford who's on the board, Levi Strauss. You can see some of these things in their documentation. So it's interesting. I don't know the solution other than I think, somebody once said, told me that any company that's like family-based business like Harley Davidson, the first thing they should do is get the family out of management because they're not good business people, blah, blah, blah. But I think Willie G and people like him who were involved, care about the brand and the company, not just the stock price. And so it depends on your perspective. What do you want out of the company? Do you want to see the most profitable bottom line you can see, or do you want to see the most sales with marginal profit? What is it that you want out of the company that really dictates whether they're doing a good job or not?
Well, the other thing too is, you're at a board meeting or a big meeting with the high ups of Harley Davidson, and Zykes gets up there and says, "We've got to cut this budget by 20% in this department." And you got the balls to say, "No, that's not fair to all those people in that department." Blah 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 blah. Who gets fired? Who's got the nuts to stand up?
I get fired. I get fired.
Well, and that's unfortunately, there's not more of you in corporate America.
Well, I'm hoping Firecracker and YouTube can support me when I get fired. there's been some,
happening.
You're not supporting me?
How am I going to support you?
We that video you shared today, the redneck stripper pole that we need at the Freedom Rally. So she shared a video today. Dude takes a 4x4 post and sticks it in the middle of one of those spools for cable spools.
Oh yeah.
And then it's on its side, so it's on its side, and he sticks the pole in the center of it, and he's up there dancing for everybody. And then of course he tries to swing a little too wide, and it snaps the pole, and he falls on the ground. That would be me, but
Yeah.
So here's the way I see it: those people making that millions of dollars, how about they pay all of our taxes? How about us low income people? How about we don't pay taxes and they pay all the taxes to cover everybody's taxes, because they make plenty of money to cover everybody's freaking taxes.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Exactly. They need to be taxed way more than what they are, and the taxes for your common workers need to be a lot lower, and they need to be taxed more because there's no reason they should get to keep all that money and everybody else struggle to even live in this world.
You think $9 million is too much to be CEO of any company?
Yeah, I really do.
It's not even, I don't think it's not the money. If you're a captain of industry, we're talking billionaire type person, it's not the money because they got plenty of it. It's the power. They don't want to lose their stranglehold on whatever it is that got them there.
Well, and for some people, the money is a validation of their worth. Yeah. So I am worth $43 million. So I want $43 million. It's not that they need it. It's a validation to them of their worth and how they're doing a good job.
Yep.
I am worth $2 million and I don't even see that. So
I know I owe you 1.999999.
Mike, it sounds like you're in debt. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to be.
How many loans you got?
Not enough. Do you end the market? You making unsecured loans on badass bikers? I got a whole chat room full of them that'll apply. Taxes are for Harley Davidson owners.
There's a reason I don't get into conversations like this kind of stuff.
I know. And I could go on a tangent that would either make your channel really good or really bad.
Now he's going to have me. This is going to be my shit show at Spring Fling. Is I'm going to get on the subject of this. I can see it. And that's going to be my shit show comms.
She has a shit show every year over something. This year it's going to be over the fact that the Harley Davidson CEO was paid $43,324,000 in compensation for 2022. That's not talking about he's going to make it 2023.
The last time I saw Firecracker get fired up is she wanted to know if she could have one more drink.
That's always.
That was at K River.
Can I, Steve?
Yeah, my night that I want to get screwed up is going to have to wait till we get to the house, or at one point we're going to drop my bike off so I can ride with Mike. So I can. One night we're going to have to do that at the Cathouse because
she's going to get a drink on.
Yeah. Oh, hey, real fast. Can I touch on the Spring Fling this weekend?
Absolutely.
So, got a lot of friends that are planning on going down. There's been a big scare about the weather. Thursday, it looks like it's going to be pretty rainy, and Friday also possibly. But, they said the same thing last year, and we stayed dry. So, keep a close eye on that weather channel, whatever you get your weather from. Don't cancel your reservations yet. See how it plays out. I think you'll find out that if it all works out right the way I think it will, I think it's going to be a great event again. And so I think we're all back on board again, and we're all coming down.
Have you seen those YouTube videos that say, don't look at the weather, just go out and ride and be a man? Or like those little reels and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look at the
weather. Well, that's kind of what it came down to. We're all like, do we got balls or
be a
not?
biker.
Yeah, I mean, do you have balls or not?
That's why we decided we're leaving tomorrow night.
I got balls, but I also got smart.
That's why we decided we're leaving tomorrow night and riding to Branson. And then we'll only be like an hour away. And the place we got, you had to rent for 2 days because it's Mike's thing. So we have it till Friday. So Mike's like, if we have to, we can hang out there until the rain passes and then go. But the way I was looking at it, it's very limited after Thursday morning. There's not supposed to be that much rain.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like we haven't rode in the rain before.
She rode into Spring Fling in the rain last year.
And it always makes a good story, right? I mean, anytime you ride through shitty weather,
Yeah,
it's like a badge of courage, right?
I had to go buy a new pair of boots because my feet were soaked. I had to buy new Harley socks. Man, I've just another excuse to spend a bunch of money again.
There you go. Mike, you better go get another loan.
I'll be sending you a message after the video asking where that application is.
I've already got my heated gear already warmed up and rain jacket in the bike, so I'm good.
You seen those Harley Davidson? I don't know what they call them, but you put them on over your shoe, and I guess they adhere pretty well to them. And then you slide them up, and then you put your rain pants down over the top of them, and supposedly they work really good. I've been tossing on the idea of buying them, and I just haven't made it over there. They're like $60, I believe, is what they cost on Harley's.
You know what else works?
Talk to me.
Walmart bag and some duct tape. Same thing. Same thing. Trust me. Have you not ever seen a guy riding around in a trash sack in the rain?
Yeah.
Just, zip duct taped at the hands, around the waist. And
hey, man, if there's a will, there's a way, brother.
Those foot things, I've had some of them. The ones you buy have some traction on the bottom of them for grip and some of that. So they're not a bad way. But what I've also seen people do is, and it actually helps with keeping your feet warm, is put your foot in like a Walmart trash sack or grocery bag before you put it in the boot. Because then the boot might get wet, but your foot and your sock stay dry, and the water doesn't soak up your sock and up into your jeans and then soak up your jeans, and it becomes a leach system where it leaches up your leg. But wrap your feet in plastic bags, stick them in your boots, cuts the heat loss down, and keeps your feet itself dry.
Another thing
that's a 10-cent fix, and I will expect royalties when we get to Spring Fling.
Well, something else I've done is I'll wear like business socks that are real thin nylon, not the big heavy cotton ones. So if they get wet, they dry out a lot quicker.
Yep. Or the like nursing socks. I got some of those. Maybe I should pack those.
You definitely should.
Kinky.
The other thing I wanted to touch on, I did a video on this and it did pretty well, but I want to remind everybody because it's springtime. T-clocs. Y'all know what your T-clocs are, right?
Yes.
Not familiar.
You did not watch the video on T-clocs, Steve.
I
failed. This is your checklist, but T-clocs is an inspection list. They recommend doing it before you ride, but a lot of this stuff people don't check you every single time. But this T stands for tires and wheels. Check your air pressure, your tire tread. Make sure you don't have a chunk missing out of a tire or a big cut or something in it. C is for controls. Just make sure all your lights and your switches are working. The L is for lights, and controls are making sure like your throttle's working okay, all your switches are working, that kind of stuff. Make sure your lights aren't burned out. The O is for oils and fluids, so check your transmission and engine fluid and brake fluids and things like that. If you got God forbid, if you got a water cooled bike, check that as well. The C is for chassis. Check for cracks in the chassis or bushings that are wore out, things like that. Bushings, other fasteners, seat bolts, etc. Handlebar bushings, for your clamps and things. And the S is for stands. Make sure your kickstand doesn't fall off. I've seen that happen, but just check all those things. It's a pre-trip checklist or whatever. But tclocs is can save a life, and I recommend everybody at least do your tclocs at the beginning of the season. If you don't know how to do a tcloc, Steve, I'll send you a video.
That's what my mechanic's for.
Do you take it to him every spring and have him check your bike before you go out and start riding?
Yep.
That's fine, as long as somebody's doing it.
Yep.
But that's what tclocs is about. It's making sure that all those things are done before a ride, or at least at the beginning of the season, and you check some of those things periodically. Droop says, don't forget to use the Gorilla Tape to tape the bags to your legs.
Yeah.
So I try and use duct tape. The Gorilla Tape's hard to get off, and I might actually want to get the things off in the shower.
Gorilla Tape's tough stuff.
So, I don't know. I think we've touched on the Harley financial stuff. If anybody's got any questions, let us know in the chat. I'll try and answer them. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't have a solution because I'm not in power. I mean, I could do a funny skit video like a guy did a few years ago about why they should name me CEO of Harley Davidson, what I'd do to fix it. But I'd have to actually think about it. For one, I wouldn't take $43 million in a salary.
I know it. I still think that all the influencers on YouTube, I think, are starting to make more and more headway as far as an impact on what Harley sees and what they hear. I sure hope so. And
I think they're paying more attention to us. I don't know if we're making an impact on what kind of business decisions they're making. I think they're wanting to embrace us if we're promoting what they want to see promoted. And I won't say that's always the case because I'm not always nice to Harley Davidson, and some people still listen to me. I don't know how long that'll last, but it's the situation. But I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna say what I think. I didn't get in this to make friends with Harley Davidson or get sponsored by Harley Davidson or be in a Harley Davidson launch video or anything else. I got in this because, quite honestly, I had put some stuff. I would put stuff on social media and YouTube a little bit, and a friend who couldn't ride anymore said that he lived vicariously through the things I did, and it kept him in touch, even though he couldn't ride anymore and stuff, and he enjoyed it. So I decided to try and do a better job of it. Share what I ride, share what I go. And then somehow I got into this news aspect, and people, for some reason, think I do a good job. I do. Maybe it's the nature of the fact that I like to research stuff before I buy it, and I like to research stuff before I talk about it. I had somebody today who said my video today was all speculation and bullshit, and I was uninformed. And I said, well, sounds to me like you're speculating that I'm uninformed when you don't know me. So we're all speculating.
Yeah. And where are you getting your information?
Well, I commented that
not you. I mean the guy that's
yeah.
being
Well, I don't know. I mean, but I commented back that I've listened to every financial report they've done in the last 2.5 years. I have read every financial report. I read their investor stuff. It's just like this with the CEO salary stuff. I go out, I research it. I may be wrong, but it's not for lack of trying or for just throwing shit out off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, again, getting back to the influencers, if I'm a hot big shot at Harley and I walk into every board meeting and it dawns on me that I come up with this idea that I came up with or somebody gave to me and everybody agrees. And then I listen to influencers on YouTube that don't have a skin in the game and they're disagreeing with some of that stuff. I mean, wouldn't that make you think a little bit? Like, hey, listen, I know those guys love the brand as well, but they're not kissing my ass every meeting.
Yeah. First off, you can't fire them.
Exactly.
You might blackball them, but you can't fire them.
Exactly. You might not like what they're saying, but it's out of their control. And of course, anybody that's in a high-ranking official in any corporation, I mean, they hate that shit, right?
A friend will tell you when you're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
they may have your back and they may not tell you in front of everybody else, but if you're full of shit about something or you're wrong about something, a good friend will pull you aside and say, hey, I love you, but you're fucking wrong.
I got a buddy named Eric, and hopefully he's listening tonight. And the dude will just flat out tell you straight out what's going on and whether you like it or not. But there's something about the way he presents it, and I always give him shit about us. So there's just something about the way you present it that makes me – I'd punch probably somebody else, but I can tell that you're sincere and you care and you're trying to give me some constructive criticism, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Steve, you want some constructive criticism?
Oh, God. I don't know why this live's going on.
You should get laid at Spring Fling.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Yeah, little Norman heard that too. He's interesting.
I got his vote for CEO, didn't I? Right there. Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Hey, you deserve to make $32 million a year. Great
so
call.
when I walk up to you at Spring Fling, I'm going to say, so how's little Norman doing?
So 14 for who follows the channel said Q1 numbers are going to be interesting. I don't think they can maintain the profit per unit if sales keep dropping and inventories keep ballooning. Absolutely right. He's paid attention to what I've been saying. That's the facts. Profit was up, but inventory was up. And at some point it's got to change. That demand's going to come back. And without it, that profit per unit won't matter because there ain't no units being sold. I don't know the dealership situation. I mean, the capitalist in me says, if you own the dealership and you want to sell it to somebody else, it's your business. Do what the hell you want with it. It's none of my business. But I know franchises have rules about it and this and that and things like that. But I really am disheartened with the direction Harley's gone since the last 3 years with getting rid of small mom and pop dealerships and, corporate car dealerships and businesses taking over. And somebody said, oh, well, that's going to be good because they can get parts from the other dealerships. No, it's not. Harley has a rule about shipping parts outside of your area. Once it's in that dealership's inventory, I'm not sure they can even ship it to another dealership. I can't order parts now from a dealership in Tennessee. I have to order it from my hometown dealership. If I order it for Harley Davidson and the local dealer gets credit for it or whatever, but there's no more of this ordering it from the cheapest dealer online shit. Was it, honey, you're a clothing addict. What's going on with Barnhart Harley Davidson, Miss Addiction? Didn't you say they were cutting out all their online clothing sales a while back?
Barnett.
Yeah.
Oh, the one in Texas.
Yeah.
You can't even look on their store anymore to buy clothing like you used to, because they used to, like, I'd go in there because they had boot sales all the time and shirt sales and all that. And last time I looked, like, they were closing down the online store. You couldn't buy from them anymore, which I was very disappointed.
That's crazy. I mean, do you think maybe they're just having trouble finding people to work? I mean,
or they just got they constantly had sales. Like, you could get Harley shirts for $10 and $15 or sometimes even less. So I'm wondering if they just got tired of dealing with all the online sales, but I don't
Well,
know. But
or did this whole thing come up with, you know, the parts deal was they was designed to keep them from, I talked about this over a year ago. I heard about it. So they were going to make it where customers had to buy from their local dealers. They couldn't order parts and accessories from dealers online outside their local dealer area. And that was Harley Davidson's deal. And they were cracking down on dealers for selling to customers outside their area. So I wonder if that includes product clothing and stuff like that. And that's what shut Barnett down. If they're no longer allowed to sell even t-shirts to customers that are outside of their local dealer area, so they just quit selling online because they were a huge e-commerce dealer.
Well, Utah Harley Davidson was the same way on parts. Back when I started customizing my 17 Road Glide, I would go to the local dealerships here, and then I'd get online, and they couldn't compete with Utah's prices. So maybe they started bitching, hey, you know, that's not fair that some dealership outside our area is, stealing my customer's business. So maybe that they put a kibosh. I haven't been buying any parts in the last couple of years. So I don't know if Utah was still doing that or not, but
well, my question is like, people have bad experiences at dealerships, so they don't want to go there. So I don't think it's right for them to tell a customer that needs a part for their motorcycle they bought that they can't go to any dealership that they want to buy their part. I'm sorry, but if you've gotten a bad taste from a dealership, why would you want to spend your money there? Why won't they let you help the other little?
You can, just not online. You can walk in the door and buy anything you want from any dealership, but they're going to limit what they can sell online to their territory because they have territories. You know, from us selling stuff on the rallies, you already know this, hon, that like one dealership can't like advertise in an area of another dealership in his territory to sponsor a rally or something like that. We, I hope I don't ruin anything here, but we have a couple of dealerships that advertise for our rally. And so far nobody's had a pissing match about it, even though we might be in one or two different, or one dealership's territory. Another dealership might advertise for a rally, and he's not said, "Oh, you can't do that," because he knows they're supporting our rally. But that's a possibility. But they have territories, and they limit them who they can market to through those territories. And I get what you're saying, and I ain't saying it's right, but that's what they do.
Yeah.
But when you can't even get parts because they're back ordered, so you can't walk into the freaking place. Well, you can, and then you got to wait for them to ship it. I mean, I just think it's wrong that they're telling you've already bought their bike. You should be able to go to any dealership you want to buy your parts. They shouldn't be able to tell you it's the brand, but you shouldn't be. I don't care if you want it shipped from that one. You're paying the shipping, so it shouldn't freaking matter where you buy it from. You should be able to be loyal to whatever dealership you want to.
So I had someone who I believe is a regular commenter on the channel who asked about how he could get in the stream. I'm trying to see if I can send him a link here. I told him if he had Instagram or Facebook, it was easier, but I'm trying to see what I can do. I don't know if we can get him in. So that's what I'm looking over here to the corner for and doing and all that. So yeah, I mean, me and Kyle talked about this stuff last year when they did the reservation thing, because that's when the thing came out about selling parts to a different area. Like I said, I don't know that I agree with it. I really hate it. I bought in parts from dealerships who are in the state of Missouri, but not my local dealer, because they offered a better price online. And I get supporting your local dealer, and I try and support my local dealer. I try and support Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson, go to their events. I buy shirts there. I buy stuff there. When we bought bikes, I mean, when we were looking for her bike, we talked to the sales manager there. They just didn't happen to have a Sport Glide at the time. That was a bike that was being discontinued, and they didn't have one.
Yeah. When you said Kyle, was that Kyle from Pig Trail?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't think I did a video on it, but we did a video about the reservation system. But me and him talked about this thing at that same time, which was over a year ago, about Harley Davidson limiting their ability to sell parts to people outside of their district. He kind of explained to me how it was supposed to work and what was coming.
Yeah. Well, April, to your point, what would keep this scenario from occurring? Let's say you get online and you find that T-shirt for $15. Go to your local Harley Davidson dealership. Say, I can buy this shirt for $15 online. We match it.
Well, and I really personally would have thought that they're like any other place, and especially on their clothing, when they get told when to drop that down. Like, you go to this place or this place for clothing, because I've worked in clothing and did it at several stores before. And the place that the shirts and stuff come from, they automatically send a list to every store that had those products. And those stores all dropped them at the same time, pretty much, maybe within a week or two of each other. But I mean, I would have thought that if one store was dropping, I know that, like, I guess the Harley dealerships, they all do their own little ones with their things on the back. But like the stuff they sell in the magazines, you think they'd automatically all drop at the same time and put them on discount. But I don't think they do there, because I've been to one and it'd be regular price and go, to another one and it's way cheaper. So I don't know how they work their stuff, but I just don't feel that it's right, especially on your parts for your bike. You should not be able to not go get those, order them, and have them shipped to you you should not have to go to the one from your area. Because when we went to the Harley dealership looking at stuff for my bike to order, at first he didn't even think we're in his area. Mike's like, well, who would be our area? Because there's no others closer. You guys are the closest. The next closest is St. Louis, and stuff. And the guy's like, and then he got to looking, and yes, they were our area one. I mean, what if you don't have it, but that one does?
Well,
It's on back order.
you're talking too fast, or you're blowing something up with your mic, hon.
Okay, well, I mean, I go to this dealership and they have it, but they're not. Or I go to order online, they have it, but it's on. I go to this other one.
Slow down. Okay, pause then, because I can hear you talking personally, but it's not coming through the headphones. So,
That's this computer.
okay,
So-
well, we're
anyways-
gonna drill a hole in the floor, and I'm gonna run a cable.
Is she above
Okay.
you? Is she on top?
Well, of course. That's the way I like it.
So all I'm saying is, I go to my local dealership, they don't have it. It's on back order through them.
Well, it's on
So
back
you
order for all dealerships if they don't have it in stock.
Okay, would you wait? What I'm saying though is, what if that other place had it in stock because nobody ever came and bought it?
Then you'd have to drive there and buy it in person.
That's bullshit. If it's on back order at one place and another place has it, then I should at least have the option to have them ship it to me, is what I'm saying. If I can't get it anywhere else because it's on back order, but that place happens to have it in stock, then they should be able to ship it to me.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you the rules as they've stated them.
Yeah, well, that's the $43 million person making $43 million that's kind of made this decision.
So yeah, but so if Kohl's in St. Louis has a shirt on the rack, you think they should, take it off the rack and ship it to you?
Shirts. I'm not talking about clothing.
Well, okay, but it's okay. Let's say it's in the back, whatever.
I'm talking about parts for the bike.
Okay, but it doesn't matter if it's widgets, shirts, or parts. The fact is, you've got a business that has dealerships all over the country, and they're locally owned, and Harley Davidson is now going to tell them they have to send them. I mean, somebody's got to make the rules. I get you saying you should be able to, and Harley Davidson saying you have to go in and you have to buy them from them direct. You can't ship them over line. And I'm not agreeing with that, but somebody somewhere has got to make the rules, and Harley Davidson as a franchise company is making the rules, and this is what they're doing. So we're going to pull Cornbread into the stream here. Cornbread comments on the channel all the time. There's Cornbread. Hey, Cornbread, you're muted.
Sup, Cornbread? Have I met Cornbread?
I've never met Cornbread, but he comments on the channel a lot, and he calls me Mountain Mike Man or Mike Mountain Man. So he's gonna have to figure out.
I like his bandana, I can tell you that.
We'll see if he can figure out his audio and get him unmuted.
So to finish what I was saying, what I'm saying though is, what if my next the store that has it is 200 miles away, and I've already drove to this store?
So I just got a message. So I got a message that says dealers can search for the part from other dealers. They can call them to see if they can buy the part. They can sell and ship the part that you need to the other dealership under the current Harley Davidson rules, but they cannot ship it directly to you, as I understand it. So that's from some clarification from someone who is in the know.
Okay.
So.
But here, and I know it's their rules and whatever, I got to do whatever they say, but that's another thing is, so then I got to pay, do I have to pay shipping for them to ship it there? And then that place is shipped to me because I'm not living in that town, or I got to drive there a second time. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So from what I just got is dealers can search for the part, and they can get it from other dealers if that dealer is willing to sell it to them, but they're not probably required to.
Right.
And the answer to whatever question you just asked was no. So, they probably eat the shipping from one dealership to another or something like that.
Which, I mean, most of the time, I'm sure that if one place doesn't have it, it's on back order, then none of them's probably going to have it. But
unless a dealer has a bunch of inventory in stock and they've kept it in stock.
Right.
Here's an example. Doc's in St. Louis, when I was first shopping for my bike and looking at stuff, and I was, I had an older Harley Davidson. They actually had bolts and miscellaneous stuff that they would keep in stock that other dealerships didn't necessarily have. And you go in there and you could buy a bolt for $3 that you needed. A lot of dealers didn't keep that in stock, but Doc's is in a market where it's 3 million consumers, potential consumers in St. Louis. If you're in Lake of the Ozarks, where your potential customer base is, 25, 30,000, that's a big difference in what he can afford to keep in hand inventory. So, there's different markets have different deals. And I do agree. It sucks that you can't just get whatever you want from whatever dealership. But I also get that some dealers were undercutting other dealers drastically, and Harley Davidson was struggling to find a way to even that playing field for them. Some big dealer in a big market can take a loss on T-shirts because he's selling a ton of bikes because he's in Houston with an 8 million population, where someone like, let's say, Harley Davidson Lake of the Ozarks is, again, 20 or 30,000 population. So it's a struggle. It's, it's easy to sit back here and quarterback this shit from behind a mic and behind a computer screen when you're not the guy looking at the numbers and dealing with the dealers and everything else. And I do think, as a capitalist, I want to say people should be able to buy whatever they want. And it kind of sucks you can't buy from wherever online. But I mean, I bought parts from a company from a dealer called Board Tracker. Did you ever hear of them, Steve?
Board Tracker.
I'm pretty sure that was their name. They were known for having the cheapest Harley Davidson parts online. This was before I ever had a channel. This was, 7 years ago. I bought a part from them. It had a problem. It's a chrome brake reservoir, and the window popped out for the sight glass. And they're like, "Well, we'll send you another." I'm like, great. You're going to send me another glass that's going to pop out because the problem's not the glass. It's the freaking $500 part. They didn't want to fix that. They ended up going out of business. They went bankrupt. They sold their shit too cheap. They couldn't support their business and they went bankrupt and they went out and I'm SOL. I got nobody that can, help me or do anything about it because the company I bought it from went out of business. Yeah, I got a bargain. I saved 50 or $100 on that part and I got no support later because they were selling their shit too cheap and they couldn't support their business. So there's, that balancing act that companies and good business managers have to have. I think, I understand they got to stay in business. They got to pay their employees. I want to support dealers. I just don't want to get raped. And I think that we all feel that way.
Yeah. Well, now I'm really curious if anybody in the side chat knows if Utah Harley Davidson is still selling a lot of things online for, a lesser price than their local dealer. I'd love to know that answer. Based on what you're telling me, that's probably ended.
Well, it's supposed to have. So let's see what Randy has to say here. Randy says, call your favorite truck driver to stop in and pick it up for you in person. We have a friend we have a couple of friends. So 87 Ricer in here is a truck driver also. Between Lloyd, 87 Ricer, and Randy, we could probably get about shit from anywhere in the country. 9 Mills wants to know what you're back. Well, April was topless for a little while. Sorry you missed it.
No. No. And by the way, I still got his cup.
You do. What are you going to do about that?
When am I going to see him?
His supporter?
Huh?
What cup are we talking about?
I had him a cup made.
Oh,
9 Mills has a channel. 9 Mills on 2 wheels. Matt is he has health issues. He has one lung. We met him at K Rever. He wasn't there last year. So, but we love 9 Mills on 2 wheels, Matt out of Texas. And so she had a cut made for him and she needs to mail it to him. I don't know what her deal is. You know how these women are. Yeah. So she's getting up. I'm fired. She's getting fired up. I thought maybe I was getting fired. She got up.
Hey, I gotta tell you,
Matt, you want to know what you're missing? Here's what you're missing, Matt. She had this made just for you.
I'm just proud of Firecracker because she's been.
Look at that.
Can you see it?
Your logo on a drinking cup. And on the back is the biker's prayer.
Ah, very cool.
She had that made for him after we partied with him at K River.
I'm just glad everybody's gotten a little taste of Firecracker tonight. She's finally showed her.
Oh, that's very minimal for me. Very minimal.
We're trying to get her fired up.
That's right.
Trying to get her more involved. We're going to do a ladies show one night soon. We'll talk about it at Spring Fling and the people that are going to be involved. But I think the ladies that are doing the International Female Ride Day, I want to host them on the show, Steve. So you need to think about what questions you want to ask them besides what size their bra is.
I was just going to say.
Or how wide their saddle is.
3 things.
Or what?
Hip, waist, and bust.
Yeah, their saddle. He wants to know what their saddle measurements are.
Let's not do the waist yet. I'm trying to lose weight. I've been trying to work out.
And what did Nick say? I'm sure she's not drunk enough yet. Don't worry, that'll come.
No.
Not tonight,
No.
but it will come at Spring Fling.
Yep.
So, I get Harley Davidson has rules for the dealerships. I've heard things like, so people bitch all the time about dealerships not putting their price on the website. Do you know why they don't do that, Steve?
I think you shared that with me, and for God's sake,
I think maybe we need to do an episode called Myth Busting, and we talk about some of the shit that dealerships get blamed for that are really they're backed into a corner. So as I understand it, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as I've been told, the dealerships can be fined significantly if they advertise a bike for under MSRP. So imagine January 19th rolls around, Harley announces bikes. You put all these models out on your website at MSRP prices or whatever else. And then Harley changes the price mid-year. And you got to get the guy to update your website on the horn to update the website before you get caught and fined for having the price at the wrong level. And that's, and I mean, especially like these small hometown dealerships that are not screwing everybody. They don't have probably a web developer in house that keeps that shit updated. They got a contractor or something else that could be out of sight or on vacation or whatever else. And then if they don't get that update, they could get fined.
Yeah, you're onto something with that Mythbuster. What
Maybe-
about if you had everybody send you their big question about what they think Harley's doing wrong and blah 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 blah? We could do a fact finder and talk to see if we can get to the right people and get an answer to some of these tough questions that we all have about it, because, you can't go to a rally or a biker bar or something without hearing somebody bitching about something that Harley did.
So here's a perspective with that buying online thing from other dealerships. Some of the problems could be that a dealership could help them get the right parts for their bike, and then they're saying they're going to come in and buy it, and their dealership stuck on it because they never come in and buy it, and then they go buy it online cheaper after you put the time into find the part for them, the right part or whatever else, and then they maybe order the wrong part online or whatever else, and they bring it into your dealership and they want you to refund it because they ordered the wrong shit, and you're stuck with a part that nobody wants because they ordered some backwards ass thing that they didn't need, the whatever floorboard, whatever else.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that, from a dealer's perspective that they have to deal with. And I believe in being fair. I think it's important that, we all look at both sides of the coin. I try and be fair. I'm probably not, Jochen Zeitz is probably not going to give me his side of the coin. So, but you can find MSRP on the dealership website at Harley Davidson. So, go look at that price and then call the dealer and start negotiating from there or go in and see them. I can tell you that building a relationship with your local dealer, going to events, talking to them and stuff goes away. I mean, I'm going to put it this way. I hope that I have a good relationship with my local dealer, even though I've never bought a bike from them. My bike I bought, 7-8 years ago before I built a relationship with the local dealer. I buy parts from them. We ordered all the cables for bars and everything from them. I buy stuff from them. I'm not afraid to buy stuff from them. I don't try and shop everything online and, not buy stuff from them. When we were shopping for a Sport Glide, we talked to him about it. He just didn't have one at the time. We went straight from the Indian dealer to the Harley dealer and said, "Hey, do you have this? Do you have any in? Can you, if you get a used one in, she's interested. We're in the market." Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But, those guys, again, it's like the supporting your local businesses. Now, the car dealerships, that's a whole different deal. But if you've got a local hometown dealer that's not a big conglomerate, 7 stores or a car dealership behind them and stuff, they're not going to keep having bike nights. They're not going to keep having events if people don't buy stuff from them. They don't just make all their money on bikes. And from what I hear, the margins for the dealers have reduced significantly in the last couple of years with what Zeitz is doing. So I don't know if there's truth to that or not, but support your local dealers if you can. If you've got a good dealer, if you've got a bad dealer, then I get it. But get to know your dealer and get an opinion and talk to them. Our dealership knows this when we come in there. They recognize us. I'm sure probably the YouTube thing helps a little bit and stuff as far as like the employees maybe recognizing us but I work with them. I help them promote their events. I don't just, what's in it for me. I promote their events. I want to be a part of their events. I want them to grow. I want me to grow. I want us all to grow together. I want the whole motorcycle industry to grow. Steve, do you know what the MRF is?
MRF.
Yes, you're on the hot spot because I guarantee you Firecracker knows what the MRF is.
It's got something to do with manufacturing, doesn't it?
No. What are we riding?
Harleys,
Motorcycle.
And what are you?
riders.
And what might the F stand for? Foundation.
I thought you were saying
Motorcycle Riders Foundation. Motorcycle
Okay.
MRF. It's a motorcycle rights organization. I love the Five Dirty Bikers. I'm gonna give them guys a shout out. They have a great podcast, but they were talking about it here a while back, and half of them didn't know what the MRF was or what an MRO is, and that is an absolute shame. I don't know what, but I feel personally that I need to do more or say more about that. Me and Firecracker are part of a local MRO in our state, motorcycle rights organization, the Motorcycle Rights Foundation. Actually, it's the Motorcycle Rights Foundation, not Riders Foundation, Motorcycle Rights Foundation. But you need to be a part of these kinds of organizations because they look out for us. They look out for us in a lot of different ways. But, we all need to be involved, not just ride our motorcycle, but we need to be involved in our community, support the dealerships, support MROs, support rallies and events, support our lifestyle. Because if we don't support this lifestyle, we're not going to be able to leave it to the next generation.
Yeah. The only way I'll be happy with the motorcycle community is if every American has a motorcycle. Then I'll be all right.
Well, I don't know that we can get there, and I don't know that I want every American riding a motorcycle because some of them I've seen to push a shopping cart in Walmart, and they hit everything from one side of the aisle to the other. But I do think those of us that ride need to know what an MRO is. We need to know what the MRF is. We need to be paying attention to the organizations that are trying to protect us and support our lifestyle. We need to be supporting the events. Spring Fling, you ask Firecracker, our schedule is busy this summer. We'll be at Spring Fling. We'll be at Ozark Rides Rally. We'll be at International Female Ride Day. We will be at the Mid-America Freedom Rally. We will be at the Ozarks Campout in June that I'm putting on. We are doing a cancer benefit in June. We may do the Ozark Rumble Rally in June. In July is the 120th anniversary. We might let that month off because we can't afford it. We're going to Sturgis this year.
And you missed, we would be going to the $5,000 poker run, but my daughter just happens to be graduating. So I don't think it's appropriate for me to miss her graduation.
We could leave after the graduation. It's like 11 o'clock at night. We'd be at Steve's house about 3:30. He'd have a bed all warmed up for you.
We gotta be back for her graduation party on Sunday.
That's fine. The poker run's on Saturday.
Yeah, so
You can go.
I got balls.
I'm
not saying I don't, but I think it's a good weekend for us to plan on being at home to do things around here we need to do.
We probably need to do the family stuff.
So I've got like 5 or 6 guys coming down from Omaha, and they're staying at my house
for the $5,000 poker run.
Yes. So then the next day, my son graduates from high school this year. So the very next morning, I got to kick them out, and then I got to put on a party here at my house for his graduation. So you talk about pressure.
Right on. That's kind of what we're talking about. So my daughter graduated last year. We had to make some sacrifices there for college. We didn't go to Sturgis last year to get her off to college. This year, we're going to make the $5,000 poker run a sacrifice so we can get her daughter graduated and be there for her. So that's just part of life. But I mean, talking about, we support events we support as many events as we can. In June, we're doing a benefit for a cancer deal. We're part of an MRO, and half our MRO is going to go to the cancer benefit. And I think the other half is going to put on a motorcycle awareness thing at a local event. But be involved, y'all, everybody I'm sure in this chat loves riding. So, ride your motorcycle, but support those events that promote your lifestyle and that are supporting you as well. There's our schedule of events, and I've got this one circled, June 23rd and 25th, Big Rock Candy Mountain, Jadwin, Missouri. We're going to do a camp out. And I'm just going to tell you, it's not going to be a big fancy deal. We're going to camp out on a campground and we're going to drink alcohol. We're going to ride our motorcycle from Licking to Uranus, and we're going to survive the Licking Uranus 2023 ride. Then we're going to go back to the camp out. We're going to drink more alcohol, tell more lies around a campfire, and have a good ass time. And that's just hang out and get to know people, and on a very personal level, not a lot of bullshit. There's a restaurant on site. It's just going to be a kick-ass time around a campfire. There was 20 or 30 of us doing this last year, and I hope there's more this year. I know several people have already come or already booked a spot. There's, I think, 12. Well, I don't know how many RV spots. I think there's one RV spot left and a couple of tents and some, like air-conditioned tents. He's got some glamping tents. And then there's a bunch of primitive camping left. I want to give Schmidt Law Firm a shout out for supporting this event, because they throwed some money our way that we're just going to use for entertainment. I don't make a thing off this. The Schmidt Law Firm supporting the event's just going to help us have some entertainment that night. So when we sit around the campfire, we can listen to some live entertainment and have a good time. So talking about this thing, ABATE as well as support. Yes, ABATE is generally the local motorcycle rights organization in most states. In Missouri, we have ABATE. We also have Freedom of Road Riders. I'm a Freedom of Road Riders, but I work with ABATE. It's all the same goal, pulling in the same direction. But if you don't know what an MRO is, most of them are $25 or $30 a month or a year to be a member. Join. Steve, if you're not a member, I'll pay your damn dues. But you need to be one. Because
we have ABATE in Kansas.
Yeah, you need to be one. You need to be supporting those organizations that are looking out for you.
I actually just called our ABATE. I haven't gotten a call back, but I like what Arizona's doing. They don't. You can't split lanes, but it's my understanding that if you come up to a stoplight and there's a bunch of cars in front of you, you can split the lanes then and get to the front. And we know that a lot of motorcycle accidents occur from behind. So, I would like
let's move up in traffic in that lane filtering, I believe is what they call that.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea.
Windroad wanted to know what's the dates on the camp out. The camp out is June 23rd and 25th. It's the last weekend of June. Did it the weekend before the 4th of July. Last year we did it in July, and it was hot. So we moved it up about 2 weeks. We did, instead of the weekend after the 4th of July, moved it up 2 weeks because, if you don't think it gets hot here, you just ask any of the 5 Dirty Bikers. I've never heard 5 guys bitch so much about how miserable they were, when they came here and did the 5 Dirty Biker meetup. You'd swear we put them in a freaking sauna and locked the door on them. They all whined and cried about how hot and miserable it was in Uranus, Missouri. But they're great guys.
Cool. I think that's cool that people are going to have a kick-ass time in Uranus.
I think it's cool that they're going
to
be licking to Uranus.
Yeah, I think everybody should. Why wouldn't you?
If you can survive licking Uranus, then you should get something out of it. I don't know what yet. We're going to either do some poker chips or maybe try and sell some T-shirts. We thought we would take the money and donate it to prostate cancer, whatever we can raise, like just take donations. Thought that'd be a cool thing to do with the Licking Uranus ride.
I think I like it.
So if anybody's interested in that, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook, or you can find details on my Facebook page, because you can't do you can't do events on Instagram like you can on Facebook. So it's a Facebook event, and all the details are on there. It's because Harley Davidson's air cooled motors. That's one thing California got right. So yeah, the Harley Davidsons, but the law doesn't apply to just Harley Davidsons. It applies to motorcycles in general, doesn't it? The lane filtering stuff. There's no discrimination about what motorcycle can or can't do it.
Yeah, no. My understanding is if you're on a motorcycle in California, you can lane split all you want.
Crazy Dave says we sound like a Bud Light commercial. I'm not sure.
Stop it.
Middle Tennessee said that Firecracker is going to kick Mike in the face. Prayers for Mike. That might be true.
I could stand some prayers. That's for sure. Is my camp out listed on CycleFish? Probably not. The guy that owns the campground was a little concerned about renting it out to, well, it's not rented exclusively to me, but he was a little concerned about how many bikers and what kind of bikers are coming. And I assured him that, the people who I think watch my audience are good, kind of people that, would be respectful, but have a good time. He's all for drinking and having a good time and hanging out by the campfire. He just, I think is a little worried is like this could turn into a 1%er thing or something like that. And I don't know that I want to advertise it on CycleFish because I don't know that I want anybody there. I want people who follow the channel there. For me, it was a way for me to have an event that people because I get this a lot and I don't know why, but people say, "Oh, I want to ride with you. I want to meet you somewhere." I'm like, well, let's all go camp out and have a good time. Evil Rick says, what's the location? It's called Big Rock Candy Mountain in Jadwood, Missouri. They have an in-ground pool. They have a restaurant and bar on site. They have shower houses. They have cabins. They have tents. They have primitive tents if you want to bring your own glamping tents. They have RV spots, and it is going to be fun. JS finally shows up and says, I'll be there. Good night, everyone. This old man is going to bed. Well, 9 Mills, good night. We miss you. We'll see you down the road somewhere, sometime.
That's a question I'd love to talk to a 1% group. And I still want to get the answer of, because if I'm the president of one, the last thing I want to do is go to any kind of an event that would stir trouble and cause us issues. I gotta think that's gotta be something that they're very cognitive of, and they try to avoid it. It would just make sense to me. And there's an event that's coming up here in Kansas, and there'll be a lot of those groups at that event. And if I don't get the answer sooner, I'm going to ask that question.
Well, I'll tell you this. Although I can't see you because I'm trying to send JS a message, but I was going to send him a link. But most 1% clubs are of the opinion that whatever you do out in public when you're wearing your patch represents the club, and it needs to be done in a very, professional, appropriate manner or whatever else. Whatever their deal is. And I'm not saying, how or what to act. What I'm saying is don't do something that makes your club look bad. Don't be an ass for no reason. If you guys, I had one time I asked a guy at a gas station because there was a group of them about something, and a patch member said he's a prospect. He can't talk to you. He's like, because I just like, hey, you guys have a good trip wherever you go and be safe. And the prospect just kind of looked at me. They looked at the other guy, and the other guy's like, oh, he's a prospect. He's not allowed to talk to you, but right on, bro. Have a good time. Thanks. Yeah. There were a lot of helmet law rallies in the capital of Sacramento, but in 92 they passed the helmet law. We got ours modified finally here in Missouri a few years ago. I got sideswiped in my pickup on the way home, hit and run, feeling defeated. Happy birthday to me. Oh, Jay, man, that is terrible. Hit and run on the freaking highway, sideswiped your pickup. If you get a plate, you send it to me. We'll put the call out. So I can tell you, bro, we got you. It's a good thing that you weren't on the bike and that you're here with us.
Well, yeah, I'm just glad. I sell insurance for those that don't know. I've taken some terrible phone calls over my career. Vehicles can be fixed. Just
Jay, I know Jay was working on his live setup, so I sent him a link if he wants to pop in.
Hey, can I pop out?
No.
Only if you can get Jay to pop in. Only if you can get Jay to pop in.
It's 9:00 and I got things to do if we're leaving tomorrow.
You gotta turn into a pumpkin?
No, I gotta finish getting stuff ready, and I still gotta go to the freaking store and eat dinner.
Well, I guess y'all better say goodbye to Firecracker. She wants out. There goes all the
Yes, I
ID.
can.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's that on the front of your shirt? What's that shirt you're wearing tonight? She just showed you. See how she boom like a professional. Bang.
Hey.
There they are.
I'll see you at Spring Fling. Right?
You're cutting in and out. I don't know who you're seeing at Spring Fling, but I'm going to be wondering
Steve,
about
I'm
this.
going to see you at Spring.
Steve, yes.
Steve, I'm going to see you at Spring Fling, right?
Absolutely. I'll be there sometime Thursday. We're going to, we may have some rain. We're going to do our best to dodge it. But yes, I will be there.
Okay. All right.
Nick says if Firecracker's tits are leaving, he's leaving. He's out as well. Good night.
He did not.
We're going to lose half the audience when she leaves.
Yeah.
Right off
See ya.
Ray said
See you
good night,
guys.
girl. XAN said good night. Windroad said good night. 87 said good night. Middle Tennessee says she's going to hurt me in my sleep tonight. She knows I might like it.
All right. Night, everybody.
All right. Pop out.
Yeah.
Jay, if you're still in the chat, I sent you an Instagram link. You go check that out. Yeah, we haven't had dinner tonight. We came home, we started packing because when she gets off work tomorrow, we're going to have 1 or 2 hours at most to get ready. We got to do a dinner and then we're going to roll out of here. We're probably going to hit Branson at between 11 and midnight. Friends are going to meet us there and they can't get into the room until I get there because it's under my name. So it's going to be a scramble. We got a friend riding with us and 2 friends that are meeting us there, Witchcraft Cycle Works. So we're all scrambling to get ready for Spring Fling.
It's going to be a good time.
And all I can say is you bitches ain't going. They're going to not know what you're missing out on.
I know it. You're a fool if you don't make it.
Did you saw the poster that I updated with the meet and greet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that I can't even put another logo on it, and there's 2 more creators coming. So we're like at 16 creators coming. That's not counting yourself, and I consider you a creator. You're just Facebook only, but you have a Facebook group you run and stuff. So
I do.
There's like 16, 17 creators coming this year, and we've lost 6 people since Firecracker signed out. See how that is? Ray said, Jay says, still here, gummies in a minute. Give me a minute. Right. No, I think he's gummies after getting his truck fucking hit. Yeah, I'd be doing a gummy. You want to hear my gummy story for the last couple weeks?
Well, hell yeah.
So I don't do gummies.
Okay.
But I had a company offer me free gummies to do a review on. Now, how do you do that video? Here, let's see if these work. I'll eat 3 and I'll be back in an hour. And we'll see if I act like a fucking, high guy.
Or chowing down on Doritos.
Nah, they ain't doing a thing. So, but yeah, I mean, I never thought I would get a request for THC gummies to do a video on. I mean, I've got some weird shit, cordless beard straighteners, sheets, all kinds of crazy stuff from companies that are not motorcycle related, but I never expected to get THC gummies as a, do you want to collaborate on this product video request?
When you get with everybody down at the Spring Fling, you'll have to ask them if any of them got approached.
Well, me and Saddle Tramp were talking Saturday morning, and he just like clicks delete when a collaboration thing comes in from a Chinese thing. It's got Chinese symbols in it. He's just like delete, 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 delete. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about the advantages or the disadvantages of that whole aspect and how you can manage that. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I have a little bit of experience. XAN Biker wants to know, where is the location of your camp out again? So it is in Jadwin, Missouri. XAN Biker, do you do Facebook? That is the question. If you do Facebook and you go to my Riding in the Ozarks page, or even if you just go ridingintheozarks.com, you can find this events calendar. This is actually a screenshot from my Riding in the Ozarks website showing what events we're going to be at. Spring Fling, the Female Ride Day, the Ozark Rides Rally, all that stuff is on my website as well as my Facebook page. But if you go to the website, there's a link to the event on Facebook that'll take you to there where you can get a hold of Big Rock Candy Mountain. But if you need to email me, hit me up on Instagram, whatever. I'll get you links, information. But you call Big Rock Candy Mountain in Jadwood, Missouri to make your reservations. They are about 20 minutes south of Salem, Missouri, out in Canoe Floating River. We're out like 5 minutes, 10 minutes off of the scenic riverways, some of the best riding in Missouri. This is off of Highway 19, which is absolutely a top 5 highway in the state of Missouri for riding. It's on a stretch. It's beautiful near Echo Bluff State Park and all that stuff. For our Licking Uranus ride, we're actually going to be going the opposite direction this year. Last year, we rode the scenic riverways and stuff. But it's a beautiful campground. Big Rock Candy Mountain. They have an Instagram page. You can follow them. They post videos on there. They have entertainment there. They have cabins, bar, grill, in-ground saltwater pool. So how many places do you know got an in-ground saltwater pool on the top of a mountain with a view that you would not believe?
That sounds nice.
It's pretty nice. It's comes close to a C cup.
Perfect.
So excuse me. Wrong tube there. Trying to keep from making noise in the mic with the ice and everything when I'm drinking, and I'm not breathing, coughing.
Hate when I do that. Hey, you recovered pretty good. I'm out for like 2 minutes.
Nothing came out my nose.
Voice gets all jacked up. It's a mess.
So,
hey, real quick on Adam Sandoval, he's starting his ride out of Rogers this weekend. Do you think reality's setting in on? I mean, that's going to be one hell of a tough run.
Well, have you been watching his build stuff on the bike?
I have, and I
get it's going to be a tough run, and I'm praying for him. I really am. I mean, it's going to be a tough run, but
I'm telling you.
But I keep focusing on all that shit he's put on that road glide. That's why I get my name in on the list. We'll be there.
I know.
And it's not just that, but I do want to support Adam and I want to support the cause. So Saturday morning, we are going to go to support the convoy kicking off and stuff. We're probably not going to ride a leg because it's at Spring Fling, but we are going to go sign up, pay, and support the cause and send him off with well wishes and wish him the best. So, but I mean, he's D&D exhaust, zero lighting. I saw Thunder Max tuner, some new bars. I mean, he's setting her up. He's setting her up to have a long haul. So, I mean, he's got a long ways to go, but he's making the efforts to do it in the right way and to support that. So
I figured it up. He's going to have to do about 280 miles a day. That's a lot of miles, man.
Do you know how many days he's got to do it in?
Yeah.
Like 83 days or something. Somebody thought it was 120 days. It's not. Yeah. Oh, looky here. We got in the chat. The only guy with a beard the only guy with a beard that even comes close. The beard. So what's up, man? How are you doing?
The beard had they had a good video today. They did some work on the front end of their bike and changed the interfering, I believe, and
I didn't get to see. I didn't get to watch much today. Between when I put out a new video, I really try and stay on top of the comments and stuff, and stuff because I want people to feel engaged, that I care about what they think of my videos and stuff. So when you put out a video, and don't take this the wrong way, but it has 19.9 thousand views today since 8 a.m. in 13 hours. It has 215 comments, I mean, I'm getting messages all day long, and I want those people to feel engaged and that I care about what they say, because I ask them for their feedback in the video. So I've spent most of my day working or responding to comments or getting ready for this live stream. So I've not really got to watch anybody else's content today.
Yeah. DeBeard is part of Baggers and Brews, another great YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
So, if you haven't caught those guys, do yourself a favor. The best is when they do a live and their wives are upstairs drinking. That's their best. They need to have that every week because it's hilarious.
They need to come to the Midwest and hang out sometime.
Yes, they do.
I don't know. I get
on their ass all the time. They need to come out for the Lake of the Ozark run and then hit.
They got Ocean City the same weekend.
Yeah, well, you know
that's
what?
the problem for them. I mean, why would you come to the Midwest when you got Ocean City right there the same weekend? And that's the conflict between Bikes Blues Barbecue, or not Bikes Blues Barbecue, but the conflict between Bike Fest and Ocean City. They're the same weekend. And Jay wants me to text him a link, so y'all talk.
I think so. Bike Fest for me is the ultimate rally for a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend type deal, because it's a resort community designed and set up already for a rally. And so you've got good riding, plenty of shopping for the wives. You've got great restaurants, anything from something simple all the way up to 5-star cuisine meals on a bluff overlooking the lake. Absolutely gorgeous. So it's a great rally for couples.
Why don't you ask DeBeard if I send him a link, if he is available? I send this link to JS.
Hey, DeBeard, we'd love to have you on, man. We'd like to hear from you if you're available.
Yeah, I mean he has been known to like watch live streams from bed. I've seen those. I've seen that comment, like I'm in bed, I can't like join, so I don't want to call
He's
him
a
out.
big man. I mean, he's 6'4". He played offensive tackle, I think, in college.
So I just sent JS a link. We'll see if he can get in here. And DeBeard, if you can get in, you let me know, and I'll hop on Instagram and send you something as well. I told April I would try and end this stream in less than 2 hours, but that never seems to happen. We're a little over 2 hours, but we got 28 people, and when people are interested and people want to hang out, I hate to just like kill it. So
I'm sorry, how many are watching right now?
About 28 between Facebook and YouTube. Okay. And Tex says, I watch Bikers and Brews here in the AU. So you got an Australian friend right there in the audience tonight.
Yeah, they got a good solid channel.
There's Doc Harley. Oh, you know what? I pull up Instagram in case I need to send a message, and I see a picture of JS's truck. This is just not right. What do you get for your birthday? Well, you get sideswiped, and then he ran. But the cops caught up to him, so good. I hope they fucking burn his ass.
Absolutely. Bad enough that you wreck into somebody's truck, and then you turn into a piece of shit and flee.
If you ain't got insurance, get off the goddamn road.
It's called responsibility.
Doc Harley's in the chat. Hello, everyone. I'm just jumping on. Good evening. Hello, sir. Do you know who Doc Harley is?
I've seen him. He's on, a lot of chats. And if I've ever met him, I apologize. I'm not putting the name to the.
I think he's out southeast, but he gets on with Ray's Moto Life and some of those guys some, and I've seen him on chat and we've talked.
Yeah, me too.
But I have not met him in person, but doesn't mean I'm not down.
Yeah. Hopefully he's enjoying the channel, and
Oh, he's in Connecticut, so that's where he's at. I said
Ah.
southeast, but he's just northeast.
I got a sister that lives in Cheshire, Connecticut. And I might go visit her. And if I do, it's going to be the weekend of the rally up there in New Hampshire.
Laconia.
And
I've never even been there, and I know what it is.
you know how it gets. And
hey, goddamn, look at the celebrities coming out here tonight. We got Brian in the house. Damn, we got the Beard, and we got Bri and Doc Harley.
Bri bashed on Professional Monkey the other day.
I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but I want to know what his take is versus my take.
It's pretty funny, man. He did a nice job on that video.
Doc is going to buy me a beer or 8 in Jersey in a few weeks. And Doc said, let me know when you're let me know when, let's meet up. Plenty of times in Connecticut. So 87 Ricer apparently gets out there. Monkey had it coming. Bri hates the monkey. I haven't got to watch it yet. Is he just jealous because he didn't get to go to Cycle Showcase and hang out with all of us?
I think so.
He didn't get a ride in the Hoopty Mobile.
He didn't get to experience the A-frame. All the sparks from underneath that turbocharged, fuel-injected Camry I drive.
Is that what you call it? I call it the
Sounds
Hoopty
sexier
Mobile.
that way.
I call it the Hoopty Mobile. Oh, let's see here. I don't know if the Beard is still here. If I can find him, but I can't find him. He hasn't commented. I wonder if he had to get up and put some clothes on in case he got called into a chat.
Hey, Bri's got a good channel too. So those out there that haven't caught his channel, make sure you chime in.
We could send Bri a message too.
Yeah.
Bri probably doesn't have his lights turned on, hooked up. Are you good to stream, Bri? You're in crickets.
Bri has this calmness about him. He's just real chill and mellow. And then all of a sudden he'll say something that's fucking hilarious.
We'll see if we can get anybody else up in here because I'm sure they're getting tired of hearing my mouth talk. There's Busted Knuckles. Busted Knuckles is going to be at Spring Fling. He's cool. Crashing at the house with me. Bryce says, I am sick or I would, but thank you. Be happy to another time. We'll figure that out, Bri. I'm trying, Bri, just so you know, I'm trying to be consistent, like every 2 weeks. I barely put this shit together in a shit show at the last minute. In the last 48 hours, I put this stream together. I didn't have a good plan. We're just trying to figure out. Now, Doc Harley says I'll jump on, so we'll throw him a link. Let's see.
Cool.
Doc, check your Instagram. I'm gonna see if I'm sure I've got you where I can find you on there.
How many seconds did I have left when I finally clicked on the live tonight?
You got in at 40 seconds till live time tonight. You were that's a little straggling for you. You're usually a little more on top of it.
I know.
I want to know what her name was and how I dragged you away from the bar.
I couldn't get her to leave. She wanted seconds.
Another awesome channel is Old Not Dead. He's from Victoria, Australia. I'm at work or I would. Doc, I just sent you a link. I already had you on Instagram. So it looks like it says devices are not connected. You get her lined out and we'll figure it out. We'll get you in here. Hello, jump off the deep end. It's fine. It's all fine. Hey, you know what? At this point, I'm like the podcast I take this live and I re-edit a little bit and I throw it out as a podcast and I don't care about monetizing it. This is us being us and being real. I mean, my long form videos, I try and be a little PG-13 most of the time. Once in a while I cuss, but it's very rarely and stuff. But if you tune in live, I'm going to drink and I'm going to say what the fuck I think.
There you go.
And so that means I need a sponsor because I pay for a premium version of StreamYard, and I'm trying to put this out on podcast on Buzzsprout, and they want money too. Everybody wants freaking money, man. What's the deal with that?
It's bullshit.
It's going to cost me like $50 a month just to live stream and put it out as a podcast. So I need a sponsor. We'll call it whatever studios you want. I don't care. I'll sell out.
You need to get Dixon Flannels to sponsor you.
You know what I think I need? How'd you like me to be broadcasting from the Cathouse studios? Me and Jeff are going to talk. Oh, looky here. I got two at the same time. Looky here. Welcome to Doc Harley and Jay.
What up, Jay?
What's up,
everybody?
Hey, everybody. If you can go out and watch some of Jay's videos, he's going to need it because he got sideswiped by some low-ass motherfucker tonight on his birthday.
Oh,
That sucks, man.
brother, I feel deflated about that one. Let me tell you.
At least you weren't on the King.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hold up.
Uh-oh.
She went to the store.
I get a shot of that.
Salty watermelon. You can get a shot of that. You know where.
Yeah,
I'll pack it.
I know the spot.
Look down here. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, April.
There's the eye candy.
Hey, babe. Did I talk to you?
All right, we're doing shots.
Oh,
Hang on. What?
I was reading what he was holding.
Oh, he's holding
Cold brew.
cold brew. Only thing I got to shoot's Jim Beam.
I'll have some.
Here's right in the Ozark.
I took my old Smoky to the bike already.
This one of yours.
I drink Diet Dr.
I'll
Pepper
see
now.
what I do.
Local law enforcement frowns upon me drinking.
Not just local, all law enforcement frowns upon you drinking.
Hey, Jay, so the question I have for you, you okay from your ordeal?
He wasn't on the bike. He was in four wheels.
Yeah, I was in my pickup truck, brother.
But I'm saying you're okay.
Yeah, no, I'm straight. I'm straight. I don't.
That's
We can get
just-
into
that's
the
what's
details, but
important.
I'm afraid I'll hijack the program.
You can hijack anything you want as long as you bring Shannon to Spring Fling. Because
Rain,
Yeah.
rain or shine, brother.
I love you, but Firecracker loves her more.
I wish I
Shannon's
could get
his wife.
Do I
I
bet?
wish I could get out there. It sounds like it's a great time, but it's
She said she's gonna be there, rain or shine, with me.
So I'm gonna give y'all a lowdown on Spring Fling. I mean, like my personal no fluff attitude about it. Spring Fling is small, natural. It's go ride Northwest Arkansas all day. Go stop by the Harley dealer. Go stop by the bar that night, hang out, meet people, and then go ride bikes more. It's not about vendors. It's not about connections. It's not about commercialization. I mean, Charlie Fagan's doing a bike show this year. That was something they tried to do last year, and it kind of fell apart. And this year, Charlie Fagan's doing it. And if you guys may not know who Charlie Fagan is, but he has a Facebook page for Harley stuff. And he started a rally last year called Ozark Rides Rally or Ozark Rumble Rally. And this year he's moving to Eureka Springs. And I haven't got to meet him yet, but Charlie's going to do the bike show. So if Charlie's going to do the bike show, I'm pretty confident it's going to be a legit bike show. I mean, it's not like maybe Cycle Showcase or anything else just yet, but it's going to grow into a legit bike show. This guy's got some connections. He's starting rallies and he's doing shit. So if he's going to do the bike show, then it's going to be a legit bike show. So Saturday afternoon, there's going to be a legit bike show. If you guys don't know, Adam Sandoval and Jeff from the Cathouse are good friends. They support each other. Jeff is supporting Adam's Great American Convoy. Adam always comes to Spring Fling and supports Jeff at the Cathouse and stuff. And it's not just about supporting them, but I mean, they want to hang out. They're good friends, but they want to come party and hang out together. So, it's a good time. We hang out on Friday and Saturday nights at the Cathouse. It's the coolest biker bar in all of Arkansas, voted by people not by commercial or paid for or anything else. People got online and voted it to be the coolest biker bar in all of Arkansas. That's the Cathouse. Switchback Bar is right up the road, 15 minutes, and they were number 2. And they work together to support this event. So, we go to Switchback Bar, we go to Cathouse. It is the coolest place. It is a small town that turns into a big town anytime there's an event, which is like every weekend. Great food, great people. It's just, and for me, what makes an event is the people. I, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to stopping by and seeing Clockworks at Sturgis this year, because I actually got the privilege of talking to Brian Clock on the phone. But that's what it's about. It's about talking to Brian and getting a chance to maybe say hi in person.
Yep.
It's not about buying their products. I can order their products online and have them shipped to my house. It's about meeting those people. And people are the connection that pulls us all together.
Yep. I hung out with Brian from Clockworks down in Daytona for an afternoon. And I also hung out with Alan from Advan Black when I was down there. I tell you, some great people, down to the earth, salt to the earth kind of guys. And Brian and I were talking a lot about his chopper that he was in the middle of building, and he got it done in time for his
hashtag chopper throwdown.
Yeah. And I saw some pictures of it when it was completed. It's a beautiful chopper. I'm actually in the planning stages of doing a charity chopper build where I'm going to build the chopper. I'm going to raffle it off. And every penny from the raffle ticket is going to go right to a veterans organization here in Connecticut. It's called Home for the Braves. They take homeless veterans, give them a place to stay, help them become marketable in society as far as the job market, help them get a job, and help them get into their own apartment, their own place. And they're not subsidized by the government or anything. They are a true non-for-profit, and they work off of donations. So, I'm a veteran, and I believe in helping veteran organizations, and this is one that's near and dear to my heart. So, I'm looking forward to building a badass 60, 70 style chopper. I already got a guy lined up for paint, and he's going to do all the paint. I'm going to reach out to V-Twin Manufacturing, Ted Cycles, everybody and anybody I could think of who'd want to make a donation into building this bike. I'm not looking for monetary donations, but I'm looking for product donations.
Parts.
And and if I could do this and get it done and raffle it off, I'm, probably limited to 100 tickets at $100 a ticket. That's $10,000 raised for Homes for the Brave. So I'm hoping that this is something that could go on. My next plan for that would be contacting Homes for the Brave, and because the Connecticut Gaming Commission and everything in gambling, since they are a non-for-profit, they could do a raffle like this.
So if you get that off the ground, brother, you send me a link. I got about 3,000 people on Facebook. I can't grow on Instagram. I don't know what the deal is there, but I got a good group on Facebook. I'll be happy to share it out there, promote that. I do the 5 Dirty Bikers been doing a build for autism that they did with Weems, and I've been promoting that and sharing that. And I do the same for you because I believe in paying it forward.
Absolutely. And I'm doing this not for any other reason other than to help them, help other veterans.
So I don't talk about this. So I'm gonna share a little insight that I don't share on YouTube or anything else very often, but I get to work with veterans every day. Veterans who are at the end of life stages, guys who are in chairs, who are mobility issues, things like that. They're not in their own home, and I don't directly get to take care of them, but I get to support the people that take care of them. But I've made some great friends in the last 6 years. We got a guy who's 100+ years old who was in World War II and still lucid. You know, that when you could sit down and talk to somebody like that with that kind of experience and knowledge, we all talk about millennials and how they don't understand and they don't have any experience. You know, when I sit down and I talk to a guy who is 100 years old, you know, I'm just taken back the fact that he's lived twice as long as I have. And what can I learn from him? Shut your mouth and listen. You know, that's the time to shut your mouth and listen to anything he's got to say.
Yep, because God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. But, you know, I mean, veterans thing is not something I don't promote a lot on my channel or talk about a lot because it's kind of got to do with my job and all that. But yeah, I'm very much a fan. And if I can do something to help promote that, I'll be happy to share that out and promote that shit all day long.
But so my next step this week is I'm going to be reaching out to Homes for the Brave. A good friend of mine is, I believe he's still on the board of directors. I used to ride with him in the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association. So I believe I got an in. I'd have to give them the elevator pitch and give them, you know, let them see, hey, look, there's no risk to us. It's all on me, and they have everything to gain. I don't see why they wouldn't want to jump on it.
This is a redneck ice tray. So we get an ice pack in the cooler and we throw some ice in it so that when we need a refill, we can do it right here from our chair and not have to get up. We just pop some ice in the cup.
Right on. Now you mentioned Cycle Showcase out in St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
I saw all the videos and the pictures, and you know, you said it's all about the people, you know, and you know, Monkey's a friend of mine. I've partied with Monkey. I've been on his life. He's been on mine prior to us meeting face to face, and he was there. And he's a great dude. I talked to Ray a lot. Ray from Ray's Motor Life. He's a great dude. And I watch all of your stuff, riding the Ozarks and Bagger Beta. I watch your stuff. Jay, I apologize. It's the first time me seeing and hearing of you, but I will check your stuff out.
No, that's no problem. Oh, you watched one of mine the other day. You said
you suck. Get your shit together, bro.
Oh, that's right. I did, didn't I? I did. I apologize. I just watch so many videos and I follow so many channels just like everybody else. It's hard to keep up with everybody. Right. But I'm planning on going out to St. Louis next year. Give up on watching the Super Bowl and all that commercialism and go out there and hang out with people and, you know, and have a great time and look at some amazing builds.
Hey, for a few bucks, Bagger Baiter will give you a fucking, you know, Uber ride that you will not fucking regret.
I'll hold him to it.
I'm going to tell you, you asked Ray. You asked Ray what it's like to ride in the Hoopty Mobile.
Bagger, you're coming out to Laconia?
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah, you, Bagger Baiter.
So my sister lives in Cheshire, Connecticut. I don't know if that's close to you or not.
10 minutes.
Oh, cool. And so
no, it's not close at all.
I need to get out there and visit with her about some family stuff. And so if I can get the time, I'll try to do it during Laconia because it's the 100th and everything.
If you come out and you want to ride, I have 2 bikes.
Yeah.
The bike I'll probably let you ride would be Project Spaceball. I don't know if you followed that build at all.
No.
I want to ride it.
It's a 2020 Lowrider S with forward controls. Ooh. With a 131-ish crate motor. The first dyno session it had, it's 140 horsepower at 160 foot-pounds of torque.
Sold.
And I'm changing out the exhaust. I ordered a Sawicki Speed exhaust, and I'm going to change out the 64 millimeter intake manifold to and throttle body to an HPI 70 millimeter tunnel ram intake system, which is already ordered.
Which Sawicki are you getting?
It's the 2-in-1 long.
Right on.
So more torque than horsepower.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, if I come up there, we're going to get to New Hampshire in record time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be in Lincoln, New Hampshire on the 11th. Okay. And I spend the night there because I get up early in the morning. I ride the Kangamangas Highway. I call it the mini tail of the dragon. It's a lot of fun. It goes through the White Hills in New Hampshire. It's beautiful riding. It's some of the best riding up in the Northeast. My own personal opinion. And then we go into Laconia, and usually we come home the same day, but we're staying an extra night, and we're going to go down to the Speedway on the 13th, and I'm going to be hanging out mostly by the Sanity Jewelry tent. Mark, the owner, is a good friend of mine. He gave me a knife to give away on the channel, which I did. And he asked me to do a meet and greet because this is his first year. He's going to be at the raceway. Hopefully we get some people to come down there. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll keep an eye on the date, and then if it looks like I might be coming, I'd be happy to reach out to you. And because I was planning on driving up there, just taking my sister's car and driving up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'd much rather be on two wheels.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, the seat on it's as comfortable as it's going to get. I mean, it's a Saddleman.
Yeah. I've got a
But
Saddleman on my
comfortable in the stock seat.
Yeah.
But Tex is right. It's the two wheels that bring us together, and united we ride, and we do. And
Right
normally
on.
I don't care. Honestly, I don't. If I ride with somebody, I don't care what they ride. I rode with a guy who had a Rebel 250. Don't care.
You just
You
had
know,
to
I
keep
even-
catching up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll even ride with Dallas on his hot wing.
I was gonna say.
That's I like that bike. That is actually a nice looking. That's like the best looking Goldwing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
My own personal opinion.
All right, I'm back. I had to switch headphones. My batteries went dead on my wireless Bluetooth headphones.
That's what Firecracker said.
Yeah, I'm getting a message from her too
I'll
So-
bet you are.
about how long we've been streaming.
So you got the that big event coming up shortly. I wish I could make it out there. It's a 20-hour ride for me, which is actually further than going for me to Daytona. I wish I could make it out, but I can't.
So
The Mid-America Freedom Rally in May is what I'm looking. I mean, Spring Fling's coming up, and I'm so excited. But I cannot tell y'all enough to try to get to Missouri come the end of May.
So what he's talking about, and we'll give it a shout out, the Mid-America Freedom Rally, and I'm actually the chairman this year, so I'm a little weird about self-promotion. It's like things that I'm part of. I don't want people to think I'm promoting it just because I'm part of it. I'm the chairman. It's a put on by motorcycle rights organization, Freedom Road Riders. There's 4 locals that put this thing on. It's an old school bike rally. I think we're on our 34th annual. It's on Memorial Day weekend because we recognize our veterans. We do a Rolling Thunder on Sunday night. We have a ceremony for our veterans. They take a wreath over to the local military veteran cemetery. We have a whole thing that goes around that, but it's not just about that. I'm out of focus. There we go. So it's an old school bike rally. I mean, it really is an old school bike rally. I do field events. We'll do keg rolls and we'll toss the egg. We hide the beer can in the hay. We do the balloon toss. We do ride the plank. We do bike events, human bike events, bike events. We do a scavenger hunt. We have live entertainment every night. The biggest main rule I have, because we try not to have a lot of rules, it's called the Freedom Rally, is if you're not doing anything to hurt yourself or anybody else, then I don't want to fucking hear about it. As a chairman, that's my rule. Is if are you hurting anybody else? Are you hurting yourself? And if the answer is no, then I don't want to hear about it. I mean, we have some rules, like we have our own golf carts and insurance. We can't have other people on our golf carts and stuff, but we abide those rules. But as far as like you doing your thing, I don't care what you're smoking. I don't care what you're drinking, as long as you're not like, I got to worry about calling a medic to get you out of whatever funk you're in. We've had a few guys on heart medication that drank too much when they shouldn't have, or things like that. We have medics on site for that and stuff. It's on a private campground. No popos allowed. They don't come in if we don't call them in. Yeah, we have our own medical staff on site. We have our own vans. This year for Saturday night, I've spent a lot of money on entertainment. We got a Hell's Bells AC/DC National Touring Tribute Act.
Wow.
We've got Night Train, which is a Guns N' Roses tribute act. Memorial Day weekend busted. I mean, that's it. We start. There's a pre-party on Thursday night. Gates open at noon on Friday. Now check this out. If you're a part of an MRO, whether it's MRF, ABATE, or Freedom Road Riders in Missouri, your price is $30 for the whole weekend. That includes camping, entertainment, everything. You can bring your own alcohol. You don't have to buy overinflated beer prices. If you want to buy alcohol at the local bar on the grounds, it's from the Shrine Club. You're supporting the Shriners when you buy that there. So if you don't want to pack it, don't pack it. Buy it from the Shriners. It's not too expensive. They keep it reasonable. But, Mid-America Freedom Rally is going to be the shit. We do this. I want to thank Schmidt Law Firm because I'm wearing their shirt and they help sponsor this. They help sponsor our Saturday night bands and stuff. Schmidt Law Firm's kind of stepped up. Our Law Tigers has pulled out here in Missouri, and they've been supporting motorcycle events, and they just been on it. And so, shout out to them for help supporting our lifestyle, the things we love to do. But we do bike show, live events. I hate to say it, but the worst thing about a rally like this is you see shit you cannot unsee. There are going to be some naked people you didn't want to see naked. That's just all there is to it.
It sounds like Cackleberry Campground.
Hey, you left out part of one of the best things about that campground is the shower house. Proper toilets, nice showers. Everything was clean last year. Place to brush your teeth, do your business, get clean.
Okay, I'm trying.
The whole campground was dope. I love the fact that there's a proper shower house, so you're not just out there with a hose over your head.
We got two shower houses, one up top and one down bottom.
Yep.
Are they co-ed like the Cackleberry?
No, they're not co-ed. There's a female male side.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cackleberry, they're co-ed.
Hey,
Now the
don't you tell me what to do,
Cackleberry,
my wife.
that's the Daytona rally, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot about it. Is there everything that I've heard it is? I mean, it sounds like a wild ass party.
And more. Across the street's the Cabbage Patch where they do the coleslaw wrestling.
Right.
Cackleberry had slime wrestling, which was a lot better than the coleslaw wrestling.
Now, are you talking about the slime that we played with when we were kids?
I don't know what kind of slime it was, but it was slime, and it would get on the girls, and they would just wipe it right off, and it just go right back into the pool.
Nah.
It was awesome.
It sounds like Jello wrestling.
Yeah, almost. But I had a great time down there. It's my first time camping there. My buddy has an RV, and I was in his RV, and we had so much fun. We already booked it for next year.
Well, Mid-American Freedom Rally is a great time. Spring Fling is a great time. There's so many great events out here in the Midwest. I am going to be forced to shut this down soon. We're going close to 3 hours, but I want to say thank you guys for joining us on the stream. Jay, I will see you in a few days.
Yes, sir.
Doc, I hope you can make it out here. If you can get out to the Midwest, holler at me, even if it's not for a rally. If you're just passing through, we'll have lunch, have a drink, whatever, hang out. So, it's
I plan on making the Midwest next year. This year, I'm pretty much booked. I got 5 other events to go to this year. That's not included the Baggers and Brews ride on Labor Day weekend, our Memorial Day weekend. So that makes 6 more events plus Daytona. It's an expensive year for me.
Oh no, we're doing Sturgis this year, so I get it. And it's like next year. I think we're gonna do the Smokies, and maybe the year after that we're gonna do the Rockies. We're trying to rotate between Sturgis, Smokies, Rockies. We can't do them all.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got an unhappy puppy.
Down, Cujo, down.
I have no
Hey,
idea. what he's on about.
Dr. Harley, I'd like to thank you for your service and my freedom.
Oh, thank you. It was a great job. I got to play with helicopters.
Cool.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining out, hanging out tonight and stuff. The Ozarks camp route right deal, is not going to be a big fancy deal. I don't want it to be a big fancy deal. I want to be just like me and my friends hanging out at the campground. I want to be where people can meet me. I can meet them. We can have real conversations, not 5 minutes and I got to go. So that's what that's about. If anybody can make that, we'd love to have you there. It's my idea of like getting to know the people who are part of the community, that want to be part of the community, that want to hang out and not have any rush or, pressure, timetables, or you got to be here, you got to be there, or anything else, or you got something else you got to go see. So those are campouts in the middle of nothing, in the middle of nowhere, and it is in the middle of the beautiful Ozark Mountains. So that's what that's about. All right, guys. I hate to cut you all off. I appreciate you jumping in here, Jay and Doc, and everything. But we have still got to finish packing for Spring Fling because we're leaving in less than 24 hours. And I'll try and do some videos from down there. It's a great time. If you can be there, be there. Steve, I will see you there. Jay, I will see you there.
Yes,
Doc,
sir.
I hope to see you there in the future. I think he wants to really embrace the community for creators and stuff. So that might be, if it's something you're interested in doing in the future, you let me know. I might be able to put you in touch with somebody. He's very much like sees this content on YouTube as a natural grassroots kind of endeavor to grow things and be real and be with real people. So,
Oh, awesome.
I'm
all right.
excited. I'm excited. Ready.
Hey,
Jealous I won't be there.
I'm less excited now.
Like I said, it's a 20-hour ride just to get there.
Yeah.
Well, if you leave
Well, they
tomorrow,
always-
you'll be in good shape.
Yeah, well, I have a thing called a job.
Yeah, I got one of them too.
Plus, I got my shop.
Yeah.
well, you got time to plan. You got 12 months.
Right.
That's it.
And honestly, I would tell Dr. Harley that if he comes out, maybe Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue would even be a better for him to have to come out for such a long distance.
Well, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is going to be a little more commercialized. There'll be more things
Yeah.
going on, but they'll be a little less personal.
Yeah,
That-
but
The
you know
thing
what?
about
Depends on
Spring
what
Fling
you
is
want.
Spring Fling, you'll really get to meet people and talk to people and
Yeah.
visit with people, and there won't be so much going on that you feel pulled in 100
That's
directions.
true.
Well, I was looking at the town that it's being held in, Spring Fling,
Mhm.
and the old buildings, the architecture, the history, all that appeals to me. Like,
I've
one of
never
my favorite
seen.
events is Gettysburg because of the history.
I've never seen such a small town inflate and handle such a large group of influx. I mean, they're a tourist town. They deal with this every weekend. They grow. They've got more motels than any small town that size should have, and for a reason. And they do a great job with it. It's an inclusive community. Some weekends are about inclusivity. It has that population, but it also has a Jeep events, Corvette events, bike events. They're very much a welcoming community to all aspects. They welcome us as bikers, so when it's our turn to come to town, they, all the restaurants are great, welcoming, want you to be, they make you feel like they want you to be there.
Yeah. So hopefully next year, if the finances will allow it, I will definitely look into making my way out there,
Cool.
because I really want to go. I figure, for a 20-hour ride, I'll take the bike 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back. So I'm going to have to plan that out for vacation time wise at work.
Well, if you decide you want to come to Spring Fling next year, you holler at me offline. I know a guy. We'll see what he's very big on trying to remove obstacles to make it easier on people to come to this event that are content creators and stuff. So maybe we can help you out with that.
Cathouse looks really interesting to me. When I saw the video of that, I was like, wow, that place is awesome. I gotta get there.
So do you object to guys taking shots between a set of boobies?
You have not seen my Instagram live I did where I was doing shots off the girl's ass.
Well, then you'll love the Cathouse girls. She'll fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. They might hit you with a paddle when they're done, and it might hurt, but you'll still like it.
Threaten
Mo
me
will
with a
take
good
care
time.
of you.
You're threatening me with a good time?
Right.
I am. So holler at me offline about next year. We'll see if we can figure something out for you.
Absolutely.
He's wanting to grow this, and this is something he supports. So we'll see what we can do there.
Yeah.
All right,
Right
guys.
on.
I thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank everybody for being a part of that 12,000 subscribers. Today
congratulations. I'm coming close to 1,000.
You know, guys, I mean, I'm going to tell you something. I had one video that went viral and did like 50,000 views in one day that had to do with Sturgis and Antifa. And outside of that, today has exceeded every other day I've had on YouTube. I have the most views today on YouTube that I've ever had outside of that one video that was a fluke.
That was a good video.
The video I dropped this morning is 21,000 views in
Yeah,
13 hours. And, you know,
Awesome.
I don't, and I record that in my garage, just talking about shit and putting bikes in the background and trying to be real. And it's, you know, overwhelming. I'm trying not to break up here, but, you know, we have such a great community, such a great bunch of people and stuff. And I never thought in 3 years I'd be at 12,000. Never. I mean, I thought I'd be lucky if I was at 1,000 in 18 months. Those are realistic goals. And so, yeah,
Right.
it is what it is.
I'm at 14 months and less than 20 away from 1,000, and I'm
Oh.
excited.
Oh,
And
we all need to give a shout out then. We got 16 people here in the chat. And if you are not subscribed to Doc Harley, get your ass
Get on
over
there.
there.
Get on
Get
it.
on it now.
But I wanted to thank you before you sign off. I wanted to thank you personally. You did a great video on the spring checklist with clocks, what all that meant, and how to check everything. And that was a great video. As a mechanic, you know, I work on Harleys part-time, but I am a Harley Davidson mechanic, and I worked on everything from monoliths to helicopters. That was such a phenomenal video for people who don't know how to check their bikes before they go for a ride. And I always tell my friends, hey, I'm going on this ride. So the day before, I'm going to be doing what I call a pre-flight inspection. I put the bike on the lift and I go through it front to back, top to bottom. And, you know, just to make sure that I could get where I'm going and back without an incident.
That's what I was planning on doing tonight instead of talking to the state troopers.
Do you know what one of my criteria when I make a video? I mean, I have it like a little checklist, and one of the things is, who does this video serve, and is this video shareable? You know, and so like that video is not about me. That video is about you as a rider. What can I do to help you? What can I do to educate you? What can I do to keep you safe? What can I do to make sure you get home when you're done with that ride? You know, and so I'm you know, some videos are very, very much focused on what I can do to serve you or to serve our community. And that was one of those. And I hope that it's shareable. I hope it's good enough that somebody feels like sharing it with somebody else that doesn't know what tclocs are. Because it amazes me how many people don't know what an MRO is or what a tcloc is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, like I said, as a mechanic, and I've worked for, you know, at a Harley Davidson dealership many, many years ago. And I always do all my inspections, being in Army aviation and all that. I got a lot out of it. You know, a lot of stuff I forgot that I didn't think of. And for that, I thank you for. I mean, you know, you could be an expert or you could be a novice, and that video will help anybody out at any level. And that was just phenomenal. And I really appreciated that you're doing it. And I know you don't like self-promotion, but I'm going to promote that video of yours because it was just, you know, it was simple, but very informative and very helpful. And that's what
it's a reminder that this is important. It helps you get you home.
It is.
And that's, you know, I had somebody, because there's some negative sides of being a creator. You get some negative comments, you get some hate, shit like that. And somebody said, well, why do you do it? And I said, because that one video might help one person. It might save one life. You never know. I mean, we did a video about April's wreck and we had a lot of positive feedback. We had some negative feedback, but if it saved one life, if I've done, you know, if anything I've done on YouTube helps keep somebody else alive, then it's worth all the hate that I get. Whatever.
Yeah. You know how I deal with all my hate comments?
Go ask YouTube for a refund.
No. Thanks for watching.
Right.
Thanks for watching and commenting. Would you like to reply?
And hit that down like button twice.
Well, you guys, thanks for hanging out. DeBeard said that he missed out on my message, but he's gonna try and get back with us and see if we can get him on live here in the future.
Cool.
I'm also going to try and do before Female Ride Day. I'm going to try and do a live stream with the female riders that are going to the Switchback. I think female riders are a very important part of our demographic, and I want to promote that. So if you guys, anybody still listening or anything else, have particular questions, things you want to know from a female rider's perspective, tune into that live stream. Send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll try and make a list of questions to ask them that you think are important for female riders. It's a growing demographic, and we need to embrace that. We also need to culture and nurture that demographic and bring them along and make them feel welcome as part of our community, not hate on them. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
I got 2 daughters and a girlfriend and no sons. So don't be hating on bitches.
Listen, I love women who ride.
Hey, bitches might be tripping, but they still riding, and we still got to embrace them and bring them into our community.
And
I
we're
love
all the
bitches.
same way. That's all that matters.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign this thing off and end this broadcast. I want to thank you guys all for being a part of it and supporting the channel. And, I'm a little overwhelmed. Tonight's a big night. I mean, I hate 120 subscribers in one day, something like that.
Hell yeah.
22,000 views or something. I really don't know what to say. I recorded that video in my garage. It wasn't even very well done but it was heartfelt, but it wasn't like production value. I didn't have all the right lighting. I didn't have all the right this and that, but it was something that came up and I wanted to talk about it. And, the community responded to it, and, you guys are all awesome. And for everybody that's out there as a creator that's growing and doing this, just keep doing you. Just keep doing you, being real, being who you are. Your audience will find you.
Right on.
Yep.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace out, guys.
See you on Friday.